morning, everyone. Hello. I have super fluffy hair today. I went to see my mum's hairdresser for a consultation the other day, and he is going to fit me in. He's not taking any new clients, but mum's been going to him since 1999. So she's talked him into letting me join his client list. And in October, I'm going to go and get my hair done by him. And I am literally going to let him do what he wants to it, because it's not anything at the moment. And it hasn't been anything since I had it cut from the bob into what it is now. It was quite interesting. He was desperately trying to be polite, but he's like, oh, one side is longer than the other, and this layer is not even with this layer, and not sure what's going on here. And yeah, he thinks he can make it look better. He doesn't think I should go back for a bob, which is what the other hairdressers, all of them in there, were just like, bob. He's like, no, you're a creative. He's like, try something different. I was like, okay, so free reign with the hair on the 6th of October. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, he did say he could fit me in kind of late September, but I was just like, oh, I'll wait and I'll go. I'll come in with mum and Susan when they go in. So yeah, Caroline's here. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Hello, welcome. We've got 27 of you here and 7 likes so far. Jojo's here. Morning. Good morning. Elena says, hello, lovely Sian and Peeps. Hello. I've had an email to say I've gone live, so that's good. Oh, 32 of you. So yeah, the 6 dresses from one pattern 7974 video is doing incredibly well. We're up to like 13,500 views, and I've gotten over the 29,000 subscriber mark, which is amazing. So thank you, and welcome any new subscribers that have decided to tune in on a Sunday and see what this nonsense is all about. So yeah, thank you very much. It's like one of the best performing videos I've done for a while. I will say the drop-off rate is quite big. So clearly I've got a good title and thumbnail, but maybe people don't want to listen to me waffle for nearly half an hour about one pattern. I was watching it back when I'd filmed it, and I was just like, oh, could I have made that more succinct? It's like, well, yes, I could. I could have gotten like this dress, flutter sleeves, this dress, embroidery, this dress, long sleeves, this dress, short sleeves, this dress, no sleeves. But I clearly like the sound of my own voice. For as much as I complain about having to listen to myself edit, I clearly like the sound of my own voice. So yeah. Peter says, good morning. Good morning. Catherine says, good luck with the hair. I've got mine booked in for a couple of weeks, but we'll just be sorting out the shape. Yeah, I think that's what he's planning on doing with this. I think he's just trying to make it more connected, because at the moment it is just like layer, 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 layer. And like he said, one side longer than the other. No disrespect whatsoever to the lady that cut my hair. She's been doing it for, like, well, that salon, different people in that salon have been doing my hair for ages. And the lady that cut my hair this time is the one that gave me my extensions. And they were perfect and beautiful, and I loved them. And I did rush the appointment. I did come in and just say, look, I'm here, please fit me in. And they did fit me in, and it was a rushed appointment. And, like, it's as much my fault for not being clear about what I wanted as anything. So no disrespect to the lady that cut my hair whatsoever. But yeah, I haven't gone out of a hairdresser's and cried in a long time. So it'll be nice to, I mean, who knows? I might come out of this other hairdressers and just be like, what is going on? But it can't get worse than this, really, can it? I mean, unless I did it myself, and I'm not going to do that. So yeah. Danielle says, hey, I made it. Hello. Carmen says, morning, Sian and Peeps. How is everyone doing? Very well, thank you. How are you? Sandra says, hello from Australia. Good evening. Thready Stitch Sew says, good morning. Happy Sunday. It's Jessica, by the way. I was going to be my first live watch. Hi from West Yorkshire, UK. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Catherine says, mine is plain long single length, but needs skill to get right. Go to his house. He has a salon on the back, and get cuddle his Maine Coon Major and his pug Margot. Oh, so cute. So cute. Yes, we've always got to love it when there is pets. I remember a friend of mine was a mobile hairdresser, and she used to come to our house and do everyone's hair, and she'd bring her little Westie Archie Beyonce with her. And yeah, he was very cute. He used to sit on people's laps while they were having a hair blow dry, and it was just like, yeah. I remember one of the girls I lived with, her then boyfriend, then fiance, now husband, is a rock star, like very famous rock star. And he used to come and have his highlights done in our in our front room. So he'd be sitting there with all the foils in and Archie Beyonce on his lap. And then we'd have a Sunday dinner afterwards. So yeah. Oh, has anyone seen Rachel's destashing her fabric stash? And she's put another lot up today. Just enablers of the world unite. I was coming on here for a reason. I was going to look at something because I've got a bunch of emails that let's see, what am I looking at? Oh yes. Oh, got a million emails on here. What is going on? Like my Facebook business account kind of updates itself really sporadically. It's really strange, and sometimes I'll end up with like the little red notifications on there, and I can't bear the little red notifications on my phone, which is why I have a lot of my notifications turned off. Like for Instagram, I've started to get like, I mean, the last post I put, I hadn't posted since May. I'm not very good at Instagram because I'm really worried the photos I'm putting up are a bit crappy, because they are, to be fair. They're screen caps from the video. So I did I did the whole thing of getting Dad's camera out. He's got a 7D, Canon 7D. Got that out, charged the battery for it. That was a good 4 weeks ago. I went to get the reason that halted is I went to get my remote control. I've got a wireless remote control for Dad's 7D, which I used to use all the time. It's brilliant, but I haven't used it for about 5 or 6 years. And the battery, I went to get it out. The battery's corroded and completely ruined the thing, so I need to order a new one, and they're about 30 quid now. And I didn't have a spare 30 quid, but I did get paid yesterday, so we'll be doing that. I also have a new Patreon peep to say hi to you. Very lovely Heather Kennedy has joined the Patreon peeps. So thank you, Heather, and welcome. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, and so after last weekend's hangouts, when Buttons was here, we were talking because Maureen was very worried that I was boring him. And so I was just like, oh no, he enjoys coming and hanging out. He has an interest in what I do. So it's really fun hanging out with him. And then Maureen commented again just to say, and I'm not singling you out, Maureen, because you were very polite and you were very nice in the way that you said this thing. So you were just like, oh, I prefer it if it's just us hanging out, because, you know, if he was a sewist, it would be different, but he's not. So I do get that. And you were being very polite, and I'm not being mean to Maureen at all, and please nobody else be mean to Maureen, because I totally understand that you've had something a certain way for a long period of time, because start the hangouts during lockdown in 2020, so it's been like, you know, what, 3 years now. And you know, to have something change that you're very used to being a certain way, I understand that that's not the best for everybody. But I will say that it is incredibly nice to have a partner that is, number one, interested in what I do, and really genuinely interested in what I do, and wants to come spend time with me whilst I do that thing. And the other side of things as well is we live on separate islands. We don't see each other. It's not easy to see each other because of the hours that he works and the places that we live and the cost of getting over to see each other. It's not like we can just go, oh, have a spontaneous night out during the week. We get to see each other at very set times at the weekends. And obviously I do hangouts on Sundays with you guys at the weekends, Sundays. And he is, as I say, interested and wants to come see and hang out with you guys as well. To begin with, he sort of sat in the background and played his game and was quiet. But, you know, he's gotten more confident and wants to come and sit and chat with you guys and see what's going on. And I like hanging out with him, funnily enough. So the thing is, because I see him so infrequently, it's either he comes and hangs out with us or I don't do a hangout. And I'm not saying that as an ultimatum. I'm not saying that as a don't say the thing because otherwise I'll take the thing away, because I love doing these. As I say, we started it during lockdown when we couldn't hang out in person, and technically we can now, but I love the fact that I've got people from Australia through to New Zealand, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, Israel, South Africa, now Prague, I want to say. Obviously England, and then we've got America, we've got Bermuda, we've got Canada. So, you know, I've got an amazing group of people that all have the same common interest and want to come and hang out on a Sunday morning. And I appreciate that we'd have a lot more people from America if I did it at a different time, but this is the time that works for me. And again, another reason for that is because I get to spend so little time with the partner that, you know, Sunday morning is a good time, and then we get Sunday evening together because he usually goes home on a Sunday. So I love these and I don't want to stop doing them, but I am either going to do them with him here or I'm not going to do them at all, because I'm not going to come and sit down here for an hour or 2 hours and leave him sitting up in the main house. I mean, he really likes my parents and gets on with my parents, and, you know, he probably would amuse himself, but I don't want to do that because I get to see him so infrequently. So that's why he joins us. I also had another person who was a lot less polite who said, "You have your boyfriend joining you? How juvenile. Don't worry about blocking me. I'm leaving." To which, I'm sorry, I had a lot of comebacks for that. One of which was, "It's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure." But I just sent a bye smiley face message and then blocked anyway. And Annette, if you're watching this, fine, I get it. You don't enjoy that. Nobody's forcing you to watch. No one's holding a gun to your head and making you watch the thing that you don't like. And as I say, I love the fact that he is interested in what I do and interested in the creative side as well as the technical side. I love that. It's a really nice feeling. My previous partner had absolutely zero interest in it whatsoever. He did offer to come onto a hangout once, but didn't promise to be polite or nice, and was quite derogatory about what I did in certain ways. So yeah, the fact that I now have somebody that is as interested as they are and wants to join me and hang out on a Sunday, and you know, because as I say, I love this. I absolutely love this, and I want to do this, and I'm not in any way complaining. And like I said, I'm not in any way giving anyone any kind of ultimatums, but that's why he's here. That's why he comes and joins me, because I like doing this and he wants to hang out with me, and by extension you guys. Like, even he was here for a week on holiday this last week, and I do a Zoom call with the $10 and $15 Patreon peeps on a Wednesday evening, because that seems to be the time that works for the most people. I've got 30 people to accommodate in that tier, and about 5 to 6 turn up. And nobody else has commented that they want a different time. And I'm very happy to do different times. I'm quite happy to stagger it and make it worldwide appropriate. But 8 p.m. on a Wednesday seems to have been like the most subscribed to and the most turned up to Zoom calls. So, you know, he came to that because, again, it was a work commitment that I had. I enjoy doing it. I love those. They're so fun. It's just sitting and chatting. And, you know, he came to that as well because it was either that or I leave him sitting in my room or with my parents for 40 minutes. So I love the fact that he is as invested in what I do as I am. And that's why when he's here, he joins us for the Hangouts. So I know it's not going to be for everybody, and it's not going to be every Hangout. Clearly, he's not here now. He had to go home last night. But yeah, Catherine says he survived us talking about shoes. He actively survived us talking about shoes, and then said that some of the shoes that we liked weren't too expensive, and has been giving Christmas present ideas already. So, you know, like, I love that he's showing an interest in my life, which is a lot more than I've had with previous relationships. So I'm sorry if it's not for everybody, but it's not going to stop because I enjoy it. Right, so let me catch up with the chat because I'm very behind now with my little kind of waffle. Catherine says, Margot went to sleep on my lap last time when she was a puppy. Oh, so cute. Lisa says, hey peeps, hello. Makey says, afternoon from the Netherlands, listening along while sewing the Butterick 6567. Hope you're well. Very well, thank you. How are you? Saskia says, good afternoon. Hello. So Felicia says, hello everyone, have I missed much? No, we literally just started. Elena says, just to add only shorts reels to Insta. So just add only shorts reels to Insta. Yeah, maybe. I need to start doing shorts again. I am going to do a separates challenge. I have my denim skirt that I need to take the waistband off of and put a new waistband onto because that one's too big. Although It's official. I've put a stone back on. We've had an amazing week this last week. I have filmed little bits and snippets here and there for Patreon exclusive holiday waffle, and I'm going to film the kind of like intro, outro, and little kind of explanation bits because I really didn't stick a camera in our faces very often. But that's going to be coming out on Patreon hopefully later today. So I decided this week we went out for 5 meals, and I decided just to like not worry about anything and eat what I wanted because it was just, you know, make life much easier. And I've had a lovely week, but yeah, I've officially put a stone back on. So keto starts properly again tomorrow. But never mind. I still think the skirt's too big for me and I need to take the waistband off. And I need to film the beginning of that because I want to do a kind of like alteration. I'm thinking about putting a little bit of elastic in the back of it just to make it a little bit more sort of like forgiving size-wise. I'm thinking about it. I don't overly like how elastic looks, but I'm thinking about it. But that's going to be the start of my separates challenge, and I'm going to do 2 weeks. And I was waiting for some hot weather, and I think I missed that because we had 2 weeks of summer, and then yeah, although it was quite warm yesterday. So yeah. Catherine says you can get good generic batteries from the older models of Canon cameras for £10. Oh yeah, no, the battery's fine. We've got the proper Canon batteries for the camera. It's the remote controlled wireless clicker for the shutter that's corroded the battery. So I need a whole new one of those. But yeah, we've got plenty of batteries for the actual camera. That's fine. And I can do timer, or I could get somebody to come and push the actual shutter for me. But given the amount of photos I want to take and the type of photos I want to take, I don't expect somebody to come and sit with me for like a good hour whilst I take photos of stuff and change into it and come back and, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just need to get myself another remote shutter. I don't even know the word for it, but you know the thing. You know the thing. KK's here, says, I can't believe I finally made it to a live with you. It's 3:30 a.m. in California. Raced home from work to be here. I'm so excited, and hello to everyone. Hi, KK. It's so lovely to see you. 3:30 a.m. That is the middle of the night, literally. But thank you very much for joining us. Oh, Jenny. Is it Jenny? Was it Jenny? Jessica. I'm sorry, I knew it began with a J. Jessica says, I noticed in the background you got a lot of fabric. How many fabrics have you got roughly? Ooh, a lot. I genuinely don't know. I probably ought to measure the amount that I've got in one cubby hole and then like average it out. But I've also got rolls under the table. I've got bins full of fabric. Back there I have a lot of fabric. I don't have as much as some, but I have a lot more than most. Catherine says he seems like such a nice guy. He is. Una's here. Hello, Shannon Peeps. Hello. Caroline says had a great convo on Wednesday. I thought so too. Una says we're doing house decorating and cleaning today. Oh, good luck with that. Jessica says I was going to do some sewing, but I got the flu. So once I'm better, I'm going to finish my grain line scout tea and starting to cut out my fabric and cutting out my sagebrush top from the Friday Pattern Company. Nice. April says, good morning all. Hello, good morning. Jessica says, might have to measure myself again because it's a new pattern that I've not done before. Always a good plan, definitely. Precious and Me says, it says volumes about them and absolutely nothing about you. It's your channel and you should do you. Exactly. Elena says, your dad would appropriate buttons for gardening if left unsupervised. Yes, he had him for 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. He had him 6 hours the other day, and he dug out a concrete path with a breaker and took down a brick wall with a reciprocating saw cutter and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah. And yeah, buttons when he left, he said, oh yeah, I'll happily do it again. And Dad's just like, oh. So yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Trusting UK is here. Hello. Catherine says he survived just talking about the shoes. Hero, yes, he did. Bless him. Did. Christine says, I enjoy the different aspects that having buttons on the live brings. You are very fortunate as he has an interest in your work. exactly how I see it as well. And again, I know it's not for everybody, and the ones that he's here, maybe don't watch if you don't like it. Like, I'm not singling anyone out, except for like the rude comment. But then she already announced her departure and left, so bye bye. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, as I say, as you say, it's my channel and I can do what I want, and I do. I am very willful like that. I do exactly what I want. King Kali says, wouldn't it be great if you learned to sew and advice on men's pattern? There's an idea. So we did actually go to the Stitching Elmers and buy some fabric because, and that's why this is out, because we are actually, he wants to do a teaching my boyfriend to sew video. And I like the idea of it, but I know nothing. I have made nothing for men. And every single time I have offered to make anything, oh no, that's not true. I made sleeves for an ex because his jacket had disintegrated. So I did an alteration. I hate alterations. But anytime I've offered to make something for an ex, it's been the kiss of death. I have fabric back there. No, I don't have it anymore. I gave it back to them because they bought it. But somebody bought 2 Liberty Isle of Wight fabrics to have shirts made from. And we broke up pretty much immediately after that. Bought some fabric back there for bag making to make another boyfriend a bag. And pretty much immediately broke up. The last one, like I said, I did make sleeves for. And then I was supposed to be making a zip-up jumper for Christmas for him. And we broke up. So anytime I've offered to make any kind of male clothing for anyone, it's been the kiss of death in a relationship. And I know it's coincidence. I am aware of this. But I also had never made anything for a guy before. So I know nothing about it. And it would be the blind leading the blind. So we have decided to do an NCW as his first sewing project. Hear me out. I know that backwards and forwards. It is mostly straight line sewing. It's a bag, so it doesn't have to fit. And he has a mother who he's been living with. Technically, she's not been charging him rent, but he's been paying her a decent chunk of money to say thank you very much for letting me live in your house, Mom. So yeah, we went to the Stitching Elmers and we dug out some fabric from my stash. We went to the Stitching Elmers to get the matching fabric. I've left it in the main house. But yeah, that's what we've been doing. So he will be featuring in a video of teaching my boyfriend to sew. The NCW is one of my most popular videos. The part 1 is 88,000 views, which is amazing. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. See if our relationship survives. We shall see. Laurie says, good morning from Kansas, USA. Good morning. Caroline says, the forecast for this week is up to 29, 30 degrees. Of course it is. So yeah, it would be a really good time to start my separates challenge. And I think what the reason I'd started that is because I want to get back into doing shorts. I'm going to do like outfit of the day shorts because I enjoyed those. I don't know. I like, for everything that I see about shorts, it's all like, oh, be funny, do this. Like, you know, Google what your audience is searching for and then make an informative video about what they're searching for. It's like, okay, how do you do that in 60 seconds? So I think, you know, like the outfits of the day is kind of like a good one. Maybe, I don't know. I enjoyed doing them though, so yeah. Jennifer says, so what? I also liked it when your parents used to hang out. I'm glad you're feeling so positive, and I can't tell you've put weight on. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like Mum will come and hang out with us. I mean, I suppose it's slightly different because Mum does sew. But yeah, Dad would hang out with us or come and say hi every now and again. Yeah. I mean, as you guys all say, it's my channel. I can do what I want, and I am. And you know, I address comments like this because I don't want people to think I'm ignoring the elephant in the room, but also like it's sometimes nice to understand somebody's reasoning behind doing something. It's like, okay, you might not change your mind on it, but it's like, oh, I understand more now where you're coming from. Sure. So yeah. Mary says, good morning from North Carolina. Hope you've had a wonderful week. I have, thank you. Linnea's here. Hello everyone, long time no see. How are you, my lovely? Catherine says, Wex have the RC16 wireless remote for £16. If that's the right thing. I will have a look. Thank you. Is that Wex? Caroline says, who wants that sort of negativity? Exactly. Linnea says, there is a free pattern for a men's t-shirt that is good. I have made some for my husband. I can send it to you if you like. That's amazing. Thank you. The other thing with buttons is he is kind of a Dorito shape. He is like an upside down triangle on purpose. He goes to the gym to make himself look like that. Johnny Bravo, again, he says this. And also very large arms, chest, shoulders, and then small waist. And the idea of fitting that well, I have no clue where to start other than adding darts, and you don't want it to look like a woman's shirt. So yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna do an NCW. Debbie says, morning. Hello. Elena says, this time you're not offering. This is true. This is true. This is true. Sue says, ooh, what a fab idea about the making a purse for his mum. I think so. Gin and Pin says, do not start knitting him a jumper. It's the absolute kiss of death. I've had so many oversized jumpers. Yeah, no, that would never happen. Although mum's already like, ooh, you like jumpers? Because dad, we were talking about knitting the other day, and dad was like, she never knits me anything. And it's just because you don't wear jumpers, father. And he's like, true. So mum was like, oh, you like jumpers? Because we can't knit anything for James. Mum can't knit anything for James because James lives in Kuala Lumpur and it's always 35 degrees and humid there. So woolly jumper, not fun. But yeah, so buttons was just like, oh yeah, I like jumpers. And mum's up. So yeah. April says, have you checked out Tiffany's Quilting Life? You are very different people, so the method probably won't work for you. But just saying, you are not the only team on YouTube. Ah, cool. No, I haven't. Another video I thought would be quite fun, or maybe fun, or might be like horrifying. But another one was I was going to let him loose on my pattern stash and pick a pattern, and then guide him, but let him pick a fabric as well for what I should make next. I thought that could be quite interesting. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not. Catherine says, I've made shirts for my partner this year. We've been together 10 years. Sharon says, morning all, getting ready to go to France tomorrow, sorting through my stash and bits and pieces so I can do some slow stitching on the train. Nice. Elena says, so you're making him sew an NCW as a first project. Maybe basic book tote? Sewing machines are scary first time. No, this guy has an obsession with my sewing machine and pointy things. Honestly, I think it will work. I think it will work because, as I say, I know the pattern really, really well, and it's a lot of straight line sewing. And I'm here, like in person. It's not like he's watching my videos and trying to do it. I think it will work. At least it'll be funny if it doesn't. And I've got plenty of fabric. If one goes wrong, we can make another one. Saskia says, definitely upload the shorts to Instagram as reels. Recent changes in the YouTube app mean I often miss them now. Yes, I used to do that and I haven't. So I just need to get better at it all. I have to say, maybe one of the reasons that the 7974 video is doing so well, according to YouTube, is so many outside sources. And I've started posting on Facebook and Instagram that I've put videos up, which I hadn't done before because I kind of just assumed that people would be like, oh, there's a video. But there's loads of external sources that are being fed to this video. So, I mean, I don't know. There are certain things that I am not good at, and social media marketing is one of them. Given that like my job is social media, then probably ought to try and get better at it. Yeah. Linnea says, my husband is the same. I can show you how I did it with the pattern. A start. Ooh, thank you, Linnea. That would be amazing. Thank you. Carol says, good morning from New York City, and hit the like button. Yes, please. Oh, there's 80 of us and 30 likes. Please do hit the like button. It really helps. Catherine says, fitting a man's shirt is like fitting yourself. Do all the measurements you would do for yourself. Neck, shoulders, chest, back to waist, arm length, bicep. Yes. Yes. This is the other thing. It's going to sound really bad, but I have very little interest in doing that. It is sounding really bad. Because again, this is one of those things where it's like, hear me out. You don't have to agree with me, but this is my reasoning. Because I did commissions for 3 years for other people, I hate sewing for other people. And I really do hate it. It's not just a dislike, I hate it. I will get over that eventually. I'm sure I will, but I really don't like it, which is so bad. But yeah, it just 3 years of doing it was just like, "Mwah." I mean, it nearly killed my love of sewing. If I'd carried on doing that for any even, like, probably 4 or 5 months longer, I would have, probably not this would not have happened. I would have gone and got another job because I did not like it. I know sewing for friends and family is very different than sewing for paying customers. I get that, but I still have a hangover from 3 years of commission sewing. And I had some amazing customers and I made some amazing things, but I also had a few nightmares. Only a few, but yeah. So yeah. Alison says, "Good morning, Sean and Peeps. Greetings from Bendigo, Victoria, Australia." Sean, how's Gianna today? Very well, thank you. She was lying on the end of the bed this morning. I didn't take a photo this morning, but I do have this one that the Patreon peeps will have seen. Oh, look at the baby. I made her a little nest and she went and sat in her nest. She does enjoy a nest, although she really won't sit in that bed that Mum and Dad bought her. She will not sit in that. Nope. Oh, and I saw this on Pinterest the other day. I need it. It was on a mug. Like, yes, I need that. So yeah. Peter says, also outfits of the day shorts also advertise the regular stuff because you're wearing what you've made, the patterns and all your tweaks for making patterns work hard. Perfect. Yes, and I will always link to everything in any video that I do. I do get not as many as used to, but I do get quite a lot of comments just saying, "Ooh, what's that you're wearing?" or "What's the pattern?" It's like, it's all in the description. But with the shorts, it is a little bit more difficult. Shorts, yeah. So there's like when you watch a short, there's a little circle with 3 dots on it, and that's where the description is. So I know not everybody knows that. It's not like the most obvious. But yeah, it's always linked in the description. Saskia says, "That sounded more demanding than I meant it." Oops. That's okay, Saskia. Don't worry. And then it says, "Maybe in a year you will have the courage to let him near your patterns." Yes. He's like, "Oh, what if I'm a savant? What if I'm really good at this? And what if I make a perfect NCW first time out?" It's like, I'm putting you to work, dude. I haven't made an NCW for 3 or 4 years now, because I used to do them for a Patreon reward. And I have got them up on Patreon as a reward, but I've actually priced them fairly for the amount of time and fabric that goes into them. They used to be $100, which didn't actually make me any money. And Patreon is meant to be a way of making money. And I mean, it's a wonderful way of making money. And it still blows my mind that there's 217 of you now that support me in that way. But it got to the point with that reward where I was taking on 3 to 4 of them a month, which I absolutely love that you guys wanted them. But it wasn't actually, it was taking up a lot of time and it wasn't making me any money. So $400 is a lot of money. I appreciate that. I charge £30 per hour. And realistically, an NCW takes me about 8 hours from sourcing the fabric, sourcing the hardware, cutting out, interfacing, sewing, finishing. It takes me about 8 hours. And then obviously you've got to cover the cost of hardware and fabric, and interfacing is so expensive. And then a little bit of profit. Not a lot of profit, a little bit of profit. So unsurprisingly, nobody's taken me up at the NCW at $400, and I completely understand that because it is incredibly expensive, and you can get a designer wallet for that price. And I appreciate that I'm just me, but I felt that that was a fairly priced option to put up. But like I say, I haven't made one for about 3 years, and I keep wanting to make myself a new one to go with my bags, but I just get to the point where I'm like, I can't face doing that. So I haven't made an NCW for ages. So again, it's going to be an interesting test of actually how well do I remember the pattern, because I've not done it for a while. So yeah. Jessica says, I noticed when you're wearing what you're wearing. I got the Lady McElroy fabric Cobra Corsage, but I got it in the purple background, but I'm going to save up because I'm not sure what I want to sew. Yeah, no, I love Cobra Corsage is one of my favorites. I have got a lot of the kind of more muted and darker colors, and then they released the purple, emerald, royal blue and magenta range, which are actually much more my colors. I've got kiwi and bottle green, teal, the chantilly, the black. Mum's given me her navy, which is in this stash here. But I'm going to do my wardrobe clear out video for my dresses very soon. And I actually think that a lot of the more muted colors I'm actually going to possibly sell, maybe donate. And I would like to probably sell, because I want to take the money from that and buy myself the emerald green Cobra Corsage. I'm going to keep the kiwi because I think the kiwi is good, but the bottle green is very dark for me. It's more of it's a warm color, but it's an autumn color rather than a spring. Mum has tried the dress on and she might take it, but she might not. And I know she won't take the ruffly one because it's too much dress for her, as she says herself. So I would like to remake those in the emerald colorway, but I don't have the money to buy fabric for a dress that I've already made. But the purple, magenta, I'm not sure the magenta actually, but the purple, the emerald and the cobalt blue Cobra Corsages are all on my wish list because they are much, much better colors for me than some of the ones that I've got at the moment. Like the teal is beautiful, but it really doesn't do me any favors. Mum has it in her wardrobe. It's a very good autumn color for her. So yeah, Cobra Corsage is one of my favorites. It is an expensive fabric. All Lady McElroy fabrics are expensive fabrics. I mean, anything, you know, over £4 a meter to me is an expensive fabric. And I think that it's like if you watch the 7974 video, the orange, you can just see I've got a little bit there, but the orange Primavera Rifle Paper Company rayon was incredibly expensive, and I hung on to that 5 meters of fabric for the longest time because I was just like, whatever I make with this has got to be something that I'm going to wear and that is perfect. And the 7974 is a really good candidate because I know I wear it, I love it, I've got it fitting me right, and it's a really pretty dress. So my special fabrics go for dresses that I love. This is the 8577. This is the first one that I made for myself. I was totally experimenting with this one. And I got really lucky that I loved this dress. I had made it for a client, and it was one of those ones that it was just like I would never have bought the pattern from the pattern envelope, and then I made it for somebody and it was just like, oh, that's amazing. So I wanted one for myself, so I just splurged and went ham with this Cobra Corsage cotton lawn, and I'm really glad that I did. And I actually have it in 2 colorways, like I said, the kiwi and this one. But yeah, 100%, if you're not sure what to do with a precious fabric, hoard it until you get to the point where you're like, I've made this dress, I reach for this dress. That's the important thing, because you can make a bunch of stuff, and if you reach for it sporadically, it's like, yeah, okay, that's good. But if you come to find yourself reaching in your wardrobe for like the same style of dress over and over and over again, 8577s, Eves, 7974s, the Butterick 5951, I then make them up in precious fabrics because it's like, I know I love this style and I know I love this fabric. So this combination should theoretically 99.9% of the time work. So yeah, I agree. Catherine says, fair enough. I only sew for friends and family, and very limited number of those. Cats don't do official beds. No. I've got a brilliant photo of her sat right in front of it, like looking at it. But she'd been sleeping in one of my cupboards this last week because she doesn't overly enjoy sharing the bed because I'm on her pillow, obviously when Buttons was here. So I opened one of the cupboards for her and I put a fluffy blanket up there, and she was happily in there every night. And then I was like, oh, okay. So I picked the bed that mum and dad bought for her up and put it in the cupboard, at the back of the cupboard, thinking, oh, well, you know, it gets cold in there, she might like it. The minute I put the bed in there, she wouldn't get back in the cupboard. She's like, nope, don't want it. I was like, okay, fine. So yeah. Mary says, don't kill your joy by feeling forced to do something you really don't want to do. Exactly. And I understand the term selfish sewing, and I understand why it got coined, and I do use the term selfish sewing myself, but I don't think it's a great or accurate term to use. For me, it's my job. So, you know, like, I do a lot of sewing, but for other people who sewing is their hobby, and have maybe a finite amount of time to sew, christening them sewing for themselves as selfish sewing, I think, is not great, because it some people use it tongue in cheek, but some people don't. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, you should be allowed to enjoy your hobby in the way that you want to, with the time that you have. And if you enjoy sewing for other people, awesome, do that. But if you enjoy sewing for yourself and nobody else, awesome, do that, you know. I got a lot of criticism during the lockdowns for not sewing scrubs and masks for people. And it was just like, well, okay, I appreciate that that would be helpful, but there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people doing that already. And it's my job, and I need to make interesting content to put out onto the internet, because it's my job. And if I spend all of my time sewing masks and scrubs, I won't have any content to put out. So I chose to carry on doing what I was doing, and selfish sewing, so that I had content to put out. And it was my way of keeping myself sane, but also like having, and because I also made it a completely, my corner of the internet was completely plague panini free, and mention of it was not allowed in any way, shape or form, because not because I didn't believe in it, or because I, you know, like, was like trying to be like, oh no, this is not happening. It was, I needed an escape, into a corner of the internet that was safe, and fun and fluffy. And I wanted to create that for other people as well. And as I say, I did get a lot of criticism for not selflessly sewing for others. And a lot of YouTubers did, and you know, they made content about it, and that was totally fine. And you know, again, like, their choice, their channel, their space on the internet, that to do what they wanted with. But for me, what I did made sense. And I really don't think people should be criticized for using their sewing time the way that they want to. So yeah, selfish sewing, I get, but it's one of those ones where it's just like, it's like flattering. I do use it every now and again, but it's one of those words where it's just like, it has all these connotations to it, and you're just like, oh, okay. And I've said this many, many, many times. If you like what you are wearing, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about it. If you feel good in it and you feel confident in it, it's going to look amazing. Now, it might not be technically flattering for your shape, for your coloring, for any of those other things, but if you feel good in it, it doesn't matter. And I see people put on outfits that they absolutely love, and I'm just like, oh, I wouldn't wear that. And I you know, that's just not for me. But I don't tell them that. And it's just like, oh no, that's not flattering. It's like, flattering itself is okay, but not flattering is just like, and different people get dressed for different reasons. You know, like, you might want to flatter your shape, you might want to hide your shape, you might want to do a whole bunch of different things. There's slightly off, like, tangenty, but Irina, Caroline, you're going to remember the name of the lady that's making in the Merry Widow and all the underwear. Irina, yeah, I can't remember her surname, but it's a fairly new channel, but she started making all this amazing lingerie because she's making a capsule wardrobe, and she's starting from the very basics. And it's really interesting, her talking about bras and sizing, And she's actually added foam into her bras because she was just like, oh, it's another barrier between my private body and the world. She's like, I don't need a Katerina Ivanova. Thank you very much, Caroline. But she's like, yeah, no, it's a barrier between my private body and the world, and it's how she feels comfortable portraying herself. And I can imagine people watching that video. I haven't read the comment section. I tend to stay out of the comment section on other people's videos because I don't like seeing negativity that people bring, and it's the internet, and unfortunately people just seem to be comfortable doing that. And some people do constructive criticism very well, some people do not, but again, different conversation. But she's not necessarily kind of got the figure that you're like, oh, she doesn't need to pad because she needs the extra boobage, but she has the foam, as I say, as a barrier between her, as she herself says, her private body and the world. And that's how she chooses to dress and how she feels comfortable. And it's not because it's flattering, it's because it's what makes her feel good. And I think that's the thing with commenting. I can't remember where exactly I started this tangent, but I think that's the thing about commenting on like other people's clothing choices. Is just like, if you like it, great, compliment. If you don't like it, totally fine, you're completely entitled to your opinion, absolutely, 100%. Do you need to tell anybody else? Probably not. They're not asking. And if you don't know them, because again, like having one person say, oh, maybe don't wear that, is okay. But then when you think about it, if somebody's putting themselves on the internet and they're getting hundreds of those comments, it's just like, that's a lot to take. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting very kind of like tangenty and deep all over here, aren't I? But yes. Let's see. Elena says, you can help Buttons with fitting and making him sew his own shirt and sew him something when you have random inspiration to do so, and do it in the moment. Yes, that's probably what's going to end up happening. That is probably what's going to end up happening. The other thing as well is I really don't want to test our relationship into the point where I'm just like, this is how my teaching style and this is not how he learns. And then if we butt heads, I don't want, yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure I'm all in my own head about this, but yeah. Saskia says, the comment asking the obvious question can definitely be annoying, but they do help with engagement at least. This is true. This is very true. And I do try and reply. I do, if somebody asks, like I said in the 7974 video the other day, I was wearing the white 7974 with the flutter sleeves, and I had listed to the dress that I was wearing in the comment section or the description of the video, and somebody had commented and just said, oh, you say you're wearing this dress, but you're not. It doesn't look the same. Which dress are you wearing? And it was like, no, actually, I promise I am wearing this dress, and the video for the sleeves is coming soon, and the video reviewing the dress is coming soon. So like, you know, if somebody asks a direct question like that, I do try and reply as soon as I can. I would love to reply to everyone's comments. I keep saying this, like, but it did become a full-time job, and I don't have enough time to do the jobs that I do already. I have 2 full-time jobs, editing and making content. So we got to the point where it's like, I really want to reply to everyone, but I just don't have time. So everybody gets a heart, and then if there's a direct question that I can answer easily, it's just like, yes, here it is, or linked in the description. So yes, Saskia, you're not wrong. It does show engagement, and it is, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's one of those ones where it's just like, I've put it all there for you, I promise. So Jojo says, I've only ever done one commission. It put me off for life. She was absolutely lovely, and we ended up becoming friends. It was the stress I put on myself, making sure it was perfect for her. Never, ever again. Yeah. Debbie says, I'm doing an NCW at the moment as a present for my lovely pharmacist at work who's leaving us soon. Oh, that's so nice. They do make good presents. Jen Pin says, I know what you mean about making for others. I've woven a baby blanket this week and I don't like it, but I'm confident it's right for both mum and baby. It's going to be around for a while as I need to plait all the fringing. Ah. Mim says, hello, Shan, how are you? What did I miss? Not much, but hello, Mim, how are you? Catherine says, good on you charging an hourly rate that respects your value. It's amazing the amount of commission requests that have gone down now since I have done that, because I had a lot of my customers come back to me for repeats like years later, you know, like the next year and the year after, and it was like, yes, I still technically take commissions, but I'm now charging this much. And they're like, oh, okay, thank you. And they're very polite about it, and so am I. But yeah, it's been very interesting seeing that. April says, maybe the cat bed smells funny to her. I have sprayed the inside of it with catnip. I have put her treats in it. I have put one of her blankets that she sleeps on in it. She hates that cat bed. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's a comedy. I mean, if nothing else, like, let me see if I can find that photo because it was taken last year at Christmas. At least I think it was taken last year at Christmas. If nothing else, I got the best comedy photo from it. Was it last year at Christmas, or was it the... Ah, there we go. That's worth 20 quid, right? She's just like, what is this nonsense? It even matches her fluff. Like, she could properly camouflage in that. If she shut her eyes, you'd never see her. She'll be like a void cat. You know, I didn't get black, I got grey, so she could be void cat, but no. Nope. Carol says, I'm so excited for the dress I'm currently working on, as I know will wear it everywhere. It will work with chunks and with my best shoes. Nice. Jojo says, lol, she is such a gorgeous little diva. She is. Jenna Pin says, Calpurnia has been celebrating her 10th birthday this weekend by waking me up early, playing with a toy mouse, and deciding to refuse to eat the food she's eaten for the last 10 years. I mean, of course. But happy birthday to Calpurnia. April So says, thank you for your escape plays. It is very much appreciated. Thank you. And it's good for me as well. So, you know, that's another thing. It's good for me. Una says, mask sewing. Some people just love to be martyrs. I didn't even sew one mask for myself. Yeah. Mum did a lot of sewing and knitting. You know, she did a lot of that. She didn't want it featured, so I didn't. So, yeah. Caroline says the comments can get very toxic. They can indeed. Una says, as a business coach, I've worked with way too many women who put everybody else ahead of their own goals of business. Not the opposite of being selfish, but they don't want to be selfish. Taking care of yourself, as long as you're not hurting others, is not selfish. Well said, Una. She says, and in fact, if others are accusing a person of being selfish, in my experience, they're often the ones who are being selfish and don't like that person finally saying no. Yes, and setting boundaries. It's been very kind of liberating to set boundaries, actually. I have done it quite a lot recently, and yeah. Catherine says, I'm currently patching a pair of loved and discontinued jeans. Is that selfish? Not at all. Vox says, kitty emoji. Hello, everyone. I'm super late for the stream today. No worries, Vox. It's nice to see you. I haven't watched your new video yet with your black and white dress, but it's on my to-watch list. Michelle says, happy Sunday, Peeps and Shan. Sorry I'm late. I got to sleep in today. Very nice, Michelle. Hello. Your fabric bundle arrived. Did you like it? I hope there were decent enough sized pieces in there for you to do something with. You said you're happy, but I hope you are. And it finally got there. Catherine says, my colleague's wife pivoted from wedding dresses to masks. That was to keep her business going. It's a designer dressmaking business who makes original dresses and tailoring. Oh, wow. Sherry says, hi, Shannon Peeps. Hello. Catherine says, I found a lovely comment, instead of sewing to be flattering, so to be comfortable, both mentally and physical. Yeah, I think that's a really good word. Like, if you're comfortable and confident in what you're wearing, you're going to look amazing, regardless of what other people think of it. Like, you feel comfortable and confident, you're going to look amazing, which is going to shine through. It's going to show. Like, yeah, totally. Petter says, absolutely, it is kind. Elena says, I've been away for more than a month, so I probably missed it, but did Button start his renovation channel? Not yet, because he's still not signed for the house. There was a piece of paper missing, so it meant that they've pushed back his exchange date from Friday the week before last to the middle of September. So he still doesn't have a house yet. Peter says, oops, it is kind, it is true, it is necessary, it's a great thing to be thinking before commenting. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? Yes, totally. Totally. I mean, I'm not saying that anyone should be trying to create like an echo chamber of like, I'm fabulous, look, tell me how fabulous I am. Constructive criticism is a good thing when done well, but it's very hard to do well written, I find. And you know, I know a load of you guys who watch me are not into the same kind of shapes and styles and colors and things that I am, but you watch it because you're interested in how I sew for me and what I sew. So I think it's one of those things where it's just like, if somebody's actively saying, please tell me where I've gone wrong with this, kindly doing so has been asked for. But if somebody's like, I love this, this is amazing, and you're sitting in the comments going, no, it's not because of these reasons, then again, is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it constructive? So yeah. Is it true? Yeah. Sherry says, I too think the term selfish sewing is odd. I wonder if it has to do with the expectation that everything women do has to be for the benefit of others. Manly hobbies are never called selfish. Very good point. Very, very good point. Yeah. Very good point. Mary says, your video of showing the same pattern with just different fabrics with a little alteration of the pattern is the beauty of sewing your own clothes. 100%. 100%. I mean, that pattern, I think I paid £12 for it because I've got two of them. I did get one for $4 from the McCall sale. Something Delightful shutting. Of the two websites, so everything's moving over to Simplicity. And Something Delightful is a website shutting. Of the two websites, I hate the Simplicity website. It's awful. I'll get used to it. I'll make it work. It'll be fine. But I don't like it. I liked Something Delightful. I liked how they'd structured that and ordered that and put that together. Much preferred it. And there's probably not giant differences, but there's big enough differences that I'm like, but yeah. But they are still doing, I double checked, they are still doing free worldwide shipping on any order that totals $75 or over. And for the UK at least, if your order is under £113, you won't get charged customs fees on your order. So you can still get free shipping, because a lot of the time the cost of the patterns when they're on sale, so $4 for McCall's and Butterick's, $7 for Vogue. I don't know if any of I don't know what Simplicity and the Nomi patterns go down to in sales, or if they are featured in sales. I haven't seen those as yet. But it used to be that you'd get the patterns really cheap, but then the shipping would be incredibly expensive. But if you spend $75, and if you can't do that by yourself, it's well worth going in with a friend. And I'm totally happy, because I'm trying to keep the Kittenish Behaviour Peeps group free of selling. I did have a trading post open for a while, but it didn't frustrate me. It scared me and it worried me, and it was a source of anxiety because I did not want to have to moderate anything that went wrong. And like, I put up the whole kind of like, disclaimers of like, I am not responsible for anything that gets traded or sold on this page, but still it stressed me out. Like I think about 120 of you joined it, and then I deleted everybody off of it because I was just like, I don't want this. And I'm sure probably nothing would have gone wrong, because I have an amazing corner of the internet where pretty much everybody is awesome and wonderful to each other, and I really, really like it. But I just it stressed me out. Having that page there for selling, and then a couple of people were using it to promote their businesses, and it was just like, that's not what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a trading post. It's supposed to be like private individuals like destashing, not fabric shops putting up like, this is what I got in new this week. They were trying to, in a way, they were trying to monetize my audience, and it was just like, that didn't sit right with me. And again, I get it, like hustle and how, like if you're a small business, hustling is one of the things. But yeah, it stressed me out. I didn't like it. But so I tried to I don't want anyone selling anything on the Kittenish Behaviour Peeps group. But I am totally happy for you guys to be like, I'm in X country. Does anybody else here want to go halvesies on a something, well, a simplicity order now, so we can get over the $75 to get free worldwide shipping? That I'm happy with. That one is totally fine. Totally fine. But yeah, Something Delightful is shutting down, and I'm sad because that was my preferred site out of the two, but never mind. Never mind. April Sows, it says, cats are opinionated and I love them for that. Yes, totally. Box says, thank you so much. Unfortunately, still missing buttons on that one. Ooh, have you picked some out? I'd be interested to see. Julie Elizabeth says, good morning. Good morning. Michelle says, I'm so excited about the fabric. I'm going to check out the colour block pattern today. The pieces are great. I'm so excited to try it. I'm very nervous. Never sewed knits. You can do it. I really like the Misusu sweater that I made. You know, my geeky panels, they're really good color blocking options. The Misusu patterns, if that helps, because you got some of the blue kitty with the big spots with the kitties on it, didn't you? That could look really cool color blocked. And Conchetta says, hi there, hope everyone is well. Very well, thank you. How are you? Oh, another thing, I've now probably got enough fabric to do 4, maybe 5 more kind of scrap bundles. And as Michelle can attest, none of them are going to make you an entire garment. But there's lots of stuff in there that, like, maybe you can make bias binding out of, or you can color block something, or there'll be Lady McElroy scraps in there. So it's like if you live in a country where it's not easily accessible and you want to see what the fabric's like before you commit to buying a lot of it because it's expensive. Yeah, I've got some. I probably got enough for about 5 more scrap bundles. I did this last year or the year before, where I did, I think, nearly 30 that went out, and I think everybody was happy with them. So yeah, would you guys be interested if I did that again? Maybe I did that one hangout maybe next week. Conchetta says, oh, I've read that one, sorry. Sue says, I ordered from Sew Direct, free postage if ordering 25+ pounds was a nightmare during the bank holiday sale. Ooh. Yeah, I don't ever order from Sew Direct anymore. Like I say, I kind of save my patterns up and order them from Was Something Delightful, and it will be now Be Simplicity. Lisa says, not sure if you've noticed, Shan, but the textile centre is reopened and it auto-corrected to Asian. She says, Shan, sorry, not Asian, auto-correct, don't worry. I get that one a lot. I have, and there's 2 fabrics on there that I'm really tempted by. 2 viscoses, red one. One's kind of like a tiger print, one's a floral. I'm thinking for the 8177 with sleeves, one of those might be quite good. But yeah, I have noticed. Jennifer says, my great-grandmother only sewed for herself. She had, after her oldest daughter had the skills to sew for herself and her sisters. Guess she was a selfish sewer, using it as a break from farmhouse kids' work. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If it's your hobby, you should be allowed to practice your hobby without it being remotely selfish. Conchetta says, I'm sorry if this is a silly question. If I send a package to the UK, the receiver has to pay customs fees? Depends. If it's a commercial goods, £113 is the limit. If it's a gift, £30 is the limit. For receiving a present without it having customs fees. So yes, if it's a gift, anything over £30, they will be charged customs fees. Vox says, I have UV resin kit, pigments and molds, so the plan is to make buttons myself. Amazing. That's going to be so cool. Liana says, I would like to ask some sewing advice. Making a shirt dress, I want to try making it as nice on the inside as you make your dresses. My question... Ooh. Hopefully somebody will answer that so that you can't hear the number that's being read out by our phone right now. Probably not, because nobody ever answers the home phone, and it's really annoying when it reads out somebody's number. So that's why I'm trying to talk over it in this monotone so you can't hear anything. I think it's done. Liana says, my question is, the sleeves can be rolled up with the tab like the 6891. How would you finish the sleeves so that they look nice when rolled up? So hopefully the sleeve comes with a continuous lap pattern piece to be sewn in, and they're not expecting you to put the cuff in for the underarm sleeve. If they are expecting you to put the cuff in on the underarm sleeve, I don't like how that looks, and I also don't like how you can finish the dress. So I have a tutorial on my channel for how to draft and sew a continuous lap and what that is. And if you put that in, it means you can French seam the underarm seam. So when you roll it back, it's all nicely finished. That would be my tip. Liana says, was thinking flat felt seams, but not sure if that's even possible down a sleeve, and where the sleeve is going to where the seam is going into the armhole. Thanks for the advice. Your sewing is really inspiring. Thank you. So yeah, you can flat felt a sleeve if you've got the sleeves big enough, but if it's a very tight sleeve, not so easy. And you can French seam your sleeve into the armhole. I have a tutorial for that. You can also bag the sleeve out, and I have a tutorial for that as well on the channel. If you look in the mini tutorials, they're all in there. Michelle says blue kitties and pink fox and the velvet, it's all gorgeous and the pieces work together. Awesome. Elena says scraps sound so tempting. Michelle says I would be interested again, but I'll wait if others are interested. I love that what you sent works together too. That's the other thing. I do try and put things together that are kind of like color appropriate. So it's like a bundle that kind of works together. Not necessarily that you have to then sew it all together, but yeah, I do try and make it kind of like a color appropriate bundle. Conchetta says, okay, follow up. Pounds as in pounds as in monetary value or pounds as in weight? Ooh, what were we talking about? Oh, pounds as in monetary value. £30 cash. So 30 pounds, not 30 pounds of weight. 30 pounds of weight is a heavy parcel. But no, 30 pounds cash value is what a gift limit is. Anything over that, import tax will be charged. Liana says it does have a continuous lap, luckily. Thank you so much. I'm going to watch this. Awesome. Brilliant. Yeah, continuous lap, French seam, beautiful. I think French seams look really pretty. The pieces that I got from Lily Silk, so I got a shirt and a camisole from them, were unbelievably beautifully sewn with French seams. So like, you know, higher end ready to wear companies do that as well, and I think it's a really good finish for something that you want to roll back. Okay, Fox says, by the way, there is a new Butterick pattern re-release from the 1950s. It's the 6956 and the pocket reminds me of the Vogue 8577. Worth checking since it's still available as PDF if you prefer PDFs. I despise PDFs, but I will look at the pattern. Oh, no. Butterick. I probably have that one. What was it? 6956. 6956. Images. Oh, it's showing up as a blouse for me, not a dress. Interesting. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Go back. Go back. Yeah, it's showing up as like a halter neck blouse. It's very pretty, but I don't think that's the one you're talking about. That's what it's showing up as. It's very nice. Conchetta says, on another note, I went to New York City last week. There was a mood stop. I only bought 2 pieces of fabric. I was only going to look as I was walking around the day. I was pretty well behaved. You were. Liana says, doing my first burrito with your tutorial as well. Oh, awesome. Yay. Conchetta says, we'll post on Facebook. Yes, we do need to see the fabric. Fabric tax. Caroline says, try on the Simplicity website. Oh, don't make me go on there. I don't like it. I just told you I don't like it. I don't wanna. Don't make me. Catherine says, customs fees. If you use someone like DHL to do the shipping with, you can set it to charge the custom fees back to the shipper. Ooh, interesting. I did not know that. Caroline says, shows the pretty dress. Ooh, you're gonna make me, aren't you? Copy. No, I don't. Oh, go away. No, stop it. Stop it. Simplicity. Fabric. Fabric. No, not Minerva. Go away. Don't want you. There we go. Simplicity patterns. Okay. Let's have a look at a pretty dress. Don't make me do this again. Oh, yeah, that is pretty. No, I don't have that one. It does have very similar pockets. You are correct. I like that. I do like that. I don't have that one. I like the neckline, and I like the sheer one that goes over the top. That's pretty. Pretty. Yes. But no, I hate PDFs. They are not my favorite. Oh, itchy nose. Itchy nose. Remy says, hi, Shan. This is my first time joining your live hangout. You're looking lovely today. Hit the like button, peeps. Oh, yes, there's 101 of you and 60 likes. And welcome, Remy. Alana says, Simplicity website is cursed. Yeah. Of all the ones, I was just like, why have you chosen that one? Simply Something Delightful was awesome. Caroline says, see, it was worth it. Yes, okay. Catherine says, I've done the flat felled on a sleeve, but done that. The felling by hand gets around the less space to maneuver issue. This is very true. That is an option as well. Melody says, hi. Hello. So I promised some organisation today, didn't I? Doing well at that so far. I've done an hour and 11 minutes of chatting and waffling. I did. Buttons and I went out the other day and we went to WH Smith's to buy some more of my boxes because they were reduced to £12.48. Except it was only one box that was reduced to £12.48. It was the only one with a price on it. None of the other ones had prices on them. I looked. We got to the counter with my 2 sets of boxes. And they were like, yeah, that'll be £60, please. It was like, what? He was like, yeah, 60 quid. I said, no, they're £12.48. And he went, what? He was like, show me. So we went over and we actually found 3 boxes that were priced up at £12.48. I was like, yeah, you used to do them like buy one, get one free. He's like, yeah, we did. We stopped doing that. He's like, oh. He's like, we did sell a lot more of them when we had them at buy one, get one free. I was like, I can imagine, because 60 quid for 6 boxes is a lot of money. And so Buttons was very kind. He was like, do you want them? I was like, for 60 quid, no, that's ridiculous. So we left those, and then we went to TK Maxx, and I got some of their boxes, which I also like. So I want to reorganise a little bit. So we got some fabrics out the other day because his mum likes blue. So I was like, Harris tweed. And I bought these at one of the knitting and stitching shows. And I was like, you know what? Probably first time working, doing an NCW. Maybe let's not do like ridiculously expensive fabric. Just in case it goes wrong. It's like, I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm a great teacher. Honest, girl. But yeah, we decided maybe not with Harris tweed. So plus, I really like these Harris tweeds. So I'm going to make a bag for me out of those. Selfish. Not at all. I bought it for me. I'm allowed to use fabric I've bought for me to make things for me, as is everybody. So put those back in the bag making stash. And put the mannequin back in the corner. And then all the inspo thing. There we go. We go back in there as well. Stay. Okay, so I was thinking about reorganizing my trims and putting my trims in a different place because at the moment they're over in the corner in 2 boxes. In fact, they've gone into 3 boxes. And I was thinking I might put them into different boxes because then they'll be easier to access. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Just put the mannequin back right in front of the things I need to get out. That was intelligent, wasn't it? The answer to that is no, Sean. Like I've got these Celeb Boutique, which is now House of CB. I bought loads of their bandage dresses, and I'm kind of gutted that I got rid of them because when I lost that weight, I would have liked to have worn them again, but I sold them, so never mind. Come on, table. Fit back together. Behave, Daniel. Do it. Do the thing. It's not doing the thing. There we go. did the thing. Yeah, so I've got like my trims have been put across quite a few different boxes, and I've also got my feather boas up here in a plastic baggie. I think it would be a good idea to maybe consolidate some of these things. Because I have 4 boxes of trims. Feather boas. And I've decided against putting those on my white dress for the foreseeable future. I really love how it turned out with just the green around the waist. I have another box. Ooh, that's dusty up there. I do like pretty boxes. I've got all my boxes from Lily Silk as well, which I think are going to end up being like beading project boxes. This is how chaotic my life is. I'm just like, oh, let me play with the shiny things. I'm going to go and get my duster though, because I've got dust everywhere. Hello, duster. Come do the thing. I don't even want to look up here and see what that's actually like. Yeah. Yes. I've got so many like little label boxes of things, which all make sense to me. But like I say, my trims are kind of getting a little bit out of control. I also had this box, which I really probably shouldn't have got, but it was the perfect colour. Look how pretty. We all know I have issues. Jennifer says, I hand sewed the True Bias Roscoe blouse in a cotton gauze using flat felt seams, and the inside looked amazing. The whole thing looks so extra. Not sure how thick a fabric would behave. Sounds good. Elena says, but waffling is necessary. Yes, I do it so well. Diane says, hola from Southwest Texas. As always, very interesting chat. Thank you. Elena says, Sian, how often do you use the trims? Shh, don't ask awkward questions, Elena. Shh. Don't ask awkward questions. I get really like, oh, my nails are too thick. I get really kind of like scared of them, which is ridiculous, I'm aware. Just trying to start this peely sticker. Like, I'm really proud of myself for using trims on that dress because I love how it turned out, but also I have like fear of like getting it wrong. So I'm just like, oh, but if I use the thing and then it's not right and then I don't have to, then so like I have this kind of fear of like, oh, I'm going to use it for the wrong thing and then I'll have used it and then I won't have it anymore. I'm aware that's bonkers. It's like that. Do you remember the parrot fabric, the Dolce & Gabbana parrot fabric that I made the Anna dress out of that I'm not 100% happy with because it's slightly misaligned, slightly by maybe what, half a centimeter, and it bugs me. So I went and bought more of that fabric, and now that I have another 3 panels of that fabric, I spent over 130 quid on fabric, that fabric in total. But now I have it, and now I have it in the stash, and it's there. The fact that I made the dress that I'm not 100% happy with is not a waste. I am insane. I am aware of this. I completely am aware of this. But it's how my brain works. So yeah. Diane says, and I really enjoy seeing you reorganize your space. Oh, this is good because I love doing it. And I love doing it with you guys. It's really fun sitting here with you guys and doing this. That's mango and orange. Yeah, mango and orange. It's rather delicious. Catherine says, we use DHL to send commercial goods internationally, so have got used to how it works. But it also infers learning about customs commodity codes. Oof. Yes. Laura says, good morning from Chicago. Good morning. Elena says it was kind of a rhetorical question. Yeah, don't ask difficult questions, Elena. Mary says, hello from Carlisle, Ohio. Hello. Jen and Pin says, have to love you and leave you. Need to collect a prescription I forgot to pick up yesterday. See you next week. Thank you for joining us, and I shall see you soon. Yes, so I have this little blue box, which I have no idea what I'm going to put in it. Don't judge me. And then it's like nesting boxes. There's more. So these were from TK Maxx, and I have 3 of them, and I really like these. And I have a couple of other TK Maxx ones. Let's see if I can get the sticker off. Just, oh, don't rip. No, don't rip. Don't rip. They used to put the labels on the bottom. They put them on the inside for this, which is, I said, really annoying. But the lady that was cashing me out, she was like, yeah, but they used to fall off all the time. So it's kind of actually nice that they're inside, because then they don't fall off and we don't have to do the whole kind of like, oh, we've got to try and find the price for this, because we all know what TK Maxx is like. Everything's like a slightly different price. So I get it, but also they've put the labels on the pretty paper. So it did come off okay, but it wasn't the easiest thing. So yeah. So we've got the baby, and then we've got a slightly different coloured, bigger one. Oh, itchy nose. The labels will not come off. So these 4 boxes, including that little kind of faux velvet blue one, were £26. And then WH Smith's wanted 60 quid for this set. So this is the middle size. No, this is the large box. Then there's a middle size box that comes in this, and then there's a little teeny tiny square ones. So whilst they probably ended up being about the same price if I bought them all individually, I was not going to spend 60 quid on them. And they weren't even the right floral. They don't do this floral anymore, so they don't even match. But the guy did say to have a look online. He's like, they might be doing a better discount online. Oh, why are these labels so difficult to get off? I mean, they're not. They're just like, they've got loads of little cuts in them, so you have to peel like 15 million different pieces off, which is not an over exaggeration at all. We know I have issues. Okay. Let's put you in the box for now, because it's never the most flattering angle being filmed right from underneath. Okay, so Conchetta says, I'm the same way. Have fabric I'm scared to use in case I mess it up. Yes, I have a few of those. And again, that's where my TNT patterns come in. The by hand London Anna, the 7974, 8577, 5951, 9345, 6581. All of those ones are things that I wear and enjoy wearing. That's the other thing as well. It's like, you don't always have to thoroughly enjoy wearing the thing that you've made. If it's a special occasion dress, they're not always the most comfortable. They're not always the ones that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to wear that again. But they look fabulous. But for dresses that you reach for all the time, for me, it totally 100% makes sense to use your special fabrics for those projects, because it's just like, I know I wear this. I know I like this. Let's make it a fabulous dress. So yeah, and I as we all know as well, I wear dresses on the daily. Some people would say I'm very dressed up, especially from working from home. Something I have noticed that I think I would dress up more and more varied if I wore a variety of shoes at home. So a lot of my times that I want to wear my trousers, I want to put heels on with them, but I don't sew in heels, so I don't put those on. I think that's another reason the kind of like outfit of the day things is going to be good, because I used to put on the shoes that I was going to wear if I wore it out, and then I'd change over to my slipper boots. And I think if I do that with the outfits of the day, where it's like I would wear these shoes, but I'm staying in, so I'm going to wear my flats or ballet flats. I might be more varied in my dressing, in my getting ready in the morning, rather than just putting the dresses on that work with ballet flats, because I've got my pink ballet flats on again today. I think I wore this. Did I wear this last week? I know I've worn this outfit once this week already, but it's so comfy. Was I wearing this on Wednesday, guys? I think I was, wasn't I? Because we were talking about shoes and I took my ballet flats off to show you. And I was just like, I'm so sorry if it smells of feet. So, yes. 2 buttons, who was here? Mim says, the world boxes are pretty. Yes, I really like those. And they kind of go in with all the florals I've got up here as well. Like you can see, I've got a giant collection of boxes up there. Catherine says, as a fan of Lady McElroy fabrics, do they get their plain wool coating in more stock in each winter, the 22 pound Peter one? I'm looking at it for a princess coat. Yes, they do. And a lot of the time they'll ship it in from Italy. So if they don't have a colour that you want, but you've seen them do before, email them about it and just ask. But yes, they do. Eleanor says, do you have any wishes for Christmas this year? Have to go now. And do I have any wishes for Christmas this year? Yes. I think, like I was talking earlier, I think I would like some of the brighter versions of the Cobra Corsage. I know last year I sewed all my Cobra Corsage except for one fabric up. And I was like, that's me done with Cobra Corsage, promise. And because so many people were so sick of it. But those brighter colours, I do want those. So I think they're going to be on my Christmas wish list. And I've already shown Buttons a pair of shoes that I would like. And I think that's it really. Fabric and shoes, as always. April says, have to go. We'll catch the rest later. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. It was lovely to see you. Rumi says, I made a couple of lined jackets recently with tweed sort of fabrics, and the non-interface pieces seem to grow, making the hem uneven. Any tips on how to avoid remedy this issue? So if you've got a really loose weave fabric, like a tweed, you can consider interfacing all of it, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the stiffest interfacing that you've ever used. I've got this amazing interfacing that the very lovely Susan sends me from Australia, which is really lightweight. I was trying to look for a piece, but I haven't got any out. But it's super, super lightweight. And I use it on rayons, and it doesn't really, it kind of like interfaces them, but it doesn't affect the drape of the fabric. So you could block fuse your fabric in that, as long as it sticks really well. And then use coat weight interfacing for the pieces that you need, or you could use coat weight interfacing for the whole of it if the fabric is lighter. But again, I'm no expert at all. Susan Calgi, you want to follow her on everything that you possibly can and see what she says about it, because I know she does a lot of Chanel style tweed boucle jackets, and boucle is one of those fabrics that just unravels the second you look at it. So yeah. Catherine says to Remy, you could try flatlining the pieces with something stable like cotton lawn, i.e. mount each piece on the lawn before assembling them. Another good point, another thing that you could definitely do. Right, so I know what I want to do. I want to put my feather boas into this box, which currently has some feathers in it already, which can stay, but it has that lace fabric that I cut apart earlier this year. It's got all of those in it, so we'll transfer those over carefully. And I actually wanted to have a look at this with some other fabric that I have and see how they matched. So I might do that whilst I've got this all out. Here's one that I did use and have already cut apart. Like I know a lot of people were like, oh, don't do it with that fabric, but I'm so glad that I did, because it's going to get used now. I mean, I have a lot of it, but it's surprising how much insertion lace you actually end up needing. Like I bought some from Pit Trading, which I'm hopefully going to put into this box as well if it will fit. And that actually ended up not yielding as much, or not, it's probably not going to be enough for any of the projects that I want to do with it, which is a little bit annoying, but never mind. Oh, itchy nose. Come on. I'm thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, this will totally fit in here, but actually I'm not sure that it's gonna, so maybe the feathers will need to go in there. Got some blue as well. I am glad that I cut that apart, that fabric. It just, I was never going to use this cotton lace as lace. So this fits, but only just. I think I will be able to get that other insertion lace in here though. Right, so that fits. So now my feathers can go in this box, because then they won't get squished down. I think I might have another feather trim that I want to maybe put in there. But this box has ended up getting very full. But the other trims that I've bought, I don't have a lot of them, so they might fit in there. Leaves, appliques. Some applique. So these are the other insertion trims that I got. I got these from Pit Trading, and they are Zimmerman-esque ones, which will fit in here. And I got the insertion, I got the edging as well, but I only bought like 5 meters of both of them, and I'm annoyed with myself. I wish I bought more. And then I got the giant rickrack because I really did want to kind of try and recreate a Zimmerman dress. And I got the edging one as well, so the insertion and the edging. And that just fits in there. Does it? Oh no, not really. Oh, that's annoying. How can I do this so that it will? Because there are gaps. One of the nice things about fabric is that it is squishy. So let's squish. There we go, that's better. Will you shut now? It's not quite as... Oh yeah, it did shut. So the idea is squish and it will fit. But now I've got like all of my lace insertion in here, which I'm very pleased about. Okay. And then got a lot of lovely appliques from Rachel for Christmas in my calendar last year, which was very nice of her. And that's appliques as well. And this, do I have feathers in here? I can't remember if I've got feathers in there or not. I don't think I have. So I think my feather trim box is done. I won't put it away just yet, just in case it's not completely done. But to me, in my head, like this organisation makes sense. And I know it might seem a bit dark to other people, but I think that's one of the things. If what you're doing makes sense to you, then it's right. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't make sense to anybody else, as long as you can find what you're doing or what you've moved around, then that's all good. Okay, so that's going to be over there. I've got like a bunch of things here. So I'm going to have like, I'm going to have a box for appliques that are motifs in and of themselves. And then I'm going to have a box for, let's see if this label will come off. I think it should. Can you come off without ruining the box? Yes, you are. That's nice. Okay, thank you. Yes. So I'm going to have a box for this type of applique. So like standalone individual pieces. And it's going to be a deeper box because currently one of these pink ones has a bunch of these in. But I've got a lot of them. And I bought a lot of those leafy ones. Tuota Mitoshi has done a dress with just these leafy ones on, and they are beautiful. And again, that's something that I'm not ruling out trying in the future. But for now, those two that I sewed to that white dress are good. And then, as I say, Rachel gave me a bunch of standalone appliques for Christmas. So I've got like a bunch of those, so they can go in here. And then I've got other trim that is like on the roll kind of thing. One. And another one. Then that lingerie set that I made came with these really big pieces, which I ended up not using for that lingerie set, but now I have two of them, so I will use those for something. I've got another 3D one there. It's got some dimension to it. And then, oh, I've got some more very blingy ones here. Again, Rachel sent these to me in my advent calendar, and I think I can actually cut them apart so I can make it into 4 pieces, which I think I probably will do. So that can go in there. And then everything else I had was like this ribbon that Rachel sent me, like it's wired. So that's a long trim in my head. That makes sense. So like long trim, long trim. Then we've got these from my dressmaker's ball dress. And this one I got from one of the knitting and stitching shows. And then this one that I think I'm going to use on a bag. I've got a pair of irregular choice boots that have got this up the side. It's like their little ankle boots. And I've worn them once with jeans. And I don't want to make a dress because I can imagine that I would only ever wear the dress with the boots. But if I make a bag that matches, then I can imagine that I would be more likely to wear the boots and the bag together with other things, if that makes sense. Let's see. Let's see, where did I get to? Where the chat? Winnie says, thank you, Shani Catherine. You're welcome. Elena says, sorry, million random questions today. Will you make a second McCall's 6800 if you can do a tutorial? If you will, can you do a tutorial by Shan? So I'm going to do a refashion of the velvet coat that I made from that pattern, which you can see there, 100%. And it's actually a really good candidate for my red wool that I've got. I was thinking about doing a princess coat, but I think I would actually prefer this one. So I'm sending a swatch of this velvet to Textile Express, and they are going to try and find me a coordinating velvet that goes well with it, because I ordered some swatches and none of them were right. Although one of them was right for the silk dress that you can see behind it. So possibly is the answer to that. That's another applique that I've beaded. That's a long trim. These are collars. I think these are collars. What's that little black thing? Oh, a couple of. Come here, come here. Oh yeah, these are little. These are little sew-on appliques. So they should go in this box. And then I think, yeah, these are. I've got like a V, and then I've got some little collars. But I think these should, I've got a bunch of these, and I think these should go in here because they are kind of like individual pieces, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put those in there. Got another one, and then I've got a really big black one that I actually want to sew onto the back of the top and then cut away underneath of it. I think that would look really pretty. That's a long trim. That's a long trim. Oh, I've got itchy nose. That's like a ribbon trim. These are from my Nana's stash. They're all long, lacy trims. As is that and that. It's from my sister-in-law's wedding dress, and that was from Saudi as well. I don't know how much of this one I've got left because I made a belt and cuffs on her wedding dress with this. And then I've also used a little piece on a bag and a book. Oh, but I've still got, yeah, that's a long trim. Although you totally could cut that apart and use that as individual motifs. It's still technically a long trim, so I'm going to put it in the long trim box, which might end up being that pink one. So those appliques, and then I think this other box is also full of, yeah, appliques. I bought 20 sets of these because I was going to do a KB custom dress. So I have a lot of those. So I could do a really elaborate gown with a bunch of those sewn on, because I put one set on a green coat that I've done, and it looks very cool. But that's all the individual trims to be sewn on. I still got some tiny little bits of faux fur here that I used for collars or hoods on coats that I've made in the past. Where did I get to with the chat? Carol says to Rumi, silk organza is another fabric used for interlining. I've used it for lighter weight cotton. Ooh, that's a really good idea, Carol. Yes. The a la Chanel jackets Susan Cowgie does are quilted to the lining. Yes, they are. Thank you. Of course they are. Lisa says, hi, Shan. Hope you and Mr. Buttons are well. I'm sat here hand sewing hook and loop tape on book bags for my granddaughters. My fingers are raw. Sending love from deepest, darkest Devon. Thank you for joining us. Guy Grace says, hi, Peeps. Joining late, but I hope you're all well. Very well, thank you. How are you? Rachel Lynn says, good morning. Oh, good morning. Elena says, did you know that you're amazing? Oh, thank you. Right, so my long trims. So I got this one from the Stitching Elmas. This one was from Saudi Arabia. Oh, little motif. That one can go in here. Like I say, I've got a bunch of these little bits of lace that came from my Nana stash. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I want to keep them. And at some point, I will make some kind of like a Victorian blouse with some lace insertion or something in them, so that I can use these little things. Not necessarily ever wear it, but this is butterfly lace. But yeah, that's from Nana's stash. This is that. And that. I remember she used a bunch of these for like the princess dresses that she used to make for me, which was very sweet of her. That was trying to make a bit of freedom. This one we thought was the colour of Nia's wedding dress silk, so we bought it because we didn't take the fabric with us. That was the actual colour. But then I also happen to have some silk di peony that's the right colour for this. Although this is on a silver background, I don't think I'm going to let that deter me from using that, because it's pretty. Could very well be one of those like sparkly David Bowie coats. So I made a red silk dress, and then I cut this out to make a belt to go with it that I was then going to hand sew this trim to, so that I could wear it with that silk dress. I've since repurposed that silk dress and taken the old bodice off and put the new one on, but I still have this belt to do it with. I've lined this with calico because I wanted the structure, but stupidly, the parts where I'm going to have to sew the hooks and eyes to, I've not put calico on. So these are really flimsy at the ends. And over this dress, yeah, I need to basically take this apart and put some stabilizer in these ends, because the bit that's going to get the like strain put on it, I have not reinforced, and silk di peony wants to shred, so that's going to stay in there, and that's a project for probably Christmas. I'm going to try and do my little red dress project this Christmas that I've been putting off for ages because the pattern does not exist that I want to use, but I'm going to make it. So yeah, this one was really expensive. It's a really kind of pretty black floral with black Swarovski crystals on it. I think I only bought a meter of it because it actually was quite an expensive trim. And I planned on putting it along the square neckline of a black bodice. But we've established I don't really wear black. So I'm thinking maybe if I make a bolero, it could be like the cuffs on a bolero and maybe like a little bit on the collar or something, possibly. Rachel then says, good morning, all, good morning. Elena says, memory quilt for these pieces? Possibly. Possibly. I don't overly like bitty quilts. Is this elastic? Oh, it's kind of stretchy. I got this from Rachel from my Advent calendar as well. Possibly. I just know that if I made a memory quilt like that, it would probably end up getting folded up and not being put out and seen. So I'm thinking maybe like a blouse or something with this lace might be a better use of it. Linnea says, I've been tracing out a new pattern and having really bad conscience the whole time that I don't continue on all the projects I've started with mood today. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sitting next to you, I've got all those patterns and projects that I said I was going to work on this last couple of months, and they're still in pieces. So yeah, I'm going to do a September plans video, but it's going to be basically I'm making my Burda dirndl and I will make the corset. So yeah. This trim I got from the local shop, and I kind of think it's going to be one of those ones that either gets hand sewn or maybe machine sewn if I can get the correct colour thread onto a dress. But it was so pretty, so I bought what they had left of it because the shop was shutting down, so it was like everything must go. And then I bought this. I've got 5 meters of this. I got it from Knitting and Stitching Show. Yes, slightly larger version of the red one that I bought. I bought 5 meters of it because I was going to put it around the hem of a circle skirt, and I still might do that, but I might do something else with it. It's just so pretty. Again, this could totally be cut up and made into motifs if you wanted to do that as well. The peacock ribbon that Rachel gave me, no idea what I'm going to do with that. This is from the same shop as I got that blue pansy trim from. I'm actually thinking I might send this to Harlequin and see if they can make a belt for me out of it. I would need to get some kind of fabric that's a similar colour to the base so that they wouldn't have to try and make a belt buckle out of this, although they might be able to. I don't know. I'll have to ask them. But I think a belt out of this would probably be a good idea. I might make my own kind of, it might end up being a waistband on the dress. I'm not sure. I've just really liked it, so it was very pretty, so I bought it. This again was from Saudi. It's very pretty, very inexpensive trim compared to the black one, to the point where the guy was like, don't buy this one, it's not good. And it's like, but I like it and it's pretty and I want it. Again, I think I got this from Rachel from my advent calendar last year. Very pretty little lace. Again, no idea what I'm going to do with that. More Nana stuff. Again, I think this came from an advent calendar. It's like a mini rick rack with little organza pom-pom thingies on it. And then this ribbon that did come from Rachel from my advent calendar. There's a decent chunk of this. So and it's kind of like it can be an insertion lace because there's a decent border either side of the embroidery. So I'm going to have a play around with some ivory fabric, putting in some of these sections for a dress, I think. So that's all my narrow trims. So they can stay in this pink box because that makes sense. But now this pink box is empty. Is it empty? Oh no, this one's got the faux fur in it. I don't have any more little bits of faux fur, but that's not a bad thing to keep in there. So they're my long trims, and they are, let's write these on here. Trims continuous. That's the word that I'm looking for. Continuous. Probably spelled that completely wrong, but I know what I mean. This is faux fur. Okay, so they can go back up. I've got elastic here, which I think needs to go in with the other elastics. I have a box for that already. Oh, itchy nose. Itchy nose. Let's see. Elena says, by the way, the lemon colourway in the Cobra Corsage looks very summery. It is very pretty, but there's a mustard and a lemon. One is good for me, one is not. And I have seen them in person, and I can't remember which is. I think it might be the lemon that's better for me. So that is now my feather boa box, because who doesn't have a feather boa box? Ooh. And then this is my insertion lace box, but I wanted to check that against some fabrics, didn't I? So let's not put that one away yet. That's corset making supplies. I think this needs to go in the lingerie box, which is up here. There we go. Yes, you go in there. And then I do want to put, I'm going to have to move you guys over because you're on the middle box and I need the middle box because I have bra making kits, which are currently in their plastic baggies hanging out in a cramped little corner down there. So I'm going to put them in a box because that makes sense. We're getting there. We're getting there. Leroy says, hello everyone, I'm late because there was a flea market to attend. Ooh, nice. And Elena says, hello Norway, how many fabrics did you buy? Elena says, website only has lemons and it's bright. Ah, maybe they've run out of the mustard one, but they did have 2 yellow bases. The lemony one I will have a look at for sure. Nimoy says to Elena, no fabric to be found, mostly children's stuff. Went with my friend and her 5-year-old, so that was fine. Did find a crochet book and a nice scarf though. Ooh, pretty. Pretty. Right, so as you guys know, I'm making lingerie. And the very lovely Bodil from Beware has made me some beautiful kits. And I've chickened out again, which I know is ridiculous, but I have. So let's move my lovely kits. So that they're not just crammed in. Lingerie making kits now have a home. Will you fit on top of the other box? All that bias binding that I made for the Zimmerman cape. Will you fit? Oh, you're just a little bit too long, but I think that actually is going to be acceptable. That's good. So, bra pattern, corset pattern, bag. So I think I need to put the bag patterns back, because the other thing that's living down there is the bag making kits that I've made up. Corset pattern needs to come out because I do need to start working on that again. And I think I'm going to put this bias binding, because I need it, into this turquoise box. Save it getting dusty. It's kind of exactly the right shape for it. That's good. So that can go in there. Will you fit down there? No, you won't fit in there. Never mind. Right. That's the individual trims. The long trims are over there. Then this bias binding I'm going to put over on this side. Because there is room for that up there. Patterns need to go away, because if I don't put them where they're meant to live, then I won't know where the hell they are. Because I'm really glad that I've done this, because that corset pattern I thought I'd stored somewhere completely different. There's filth everywhere. Oh, right, I wanted to have a look and see if I could match some of these insertion laces that I've got with, fabrics, didn't I? Which fabrics was it? Which fabrics was it? That's completely the wrong colour for that. I think this one I'm going to have to take a swatch out with me and find the right blue for this, or go for like a white. I think that one's going to be quite a difficult one to match. Not the end of the world. Ow. That one works. That's good to know. Okay. I'm not going to get all the fabrics out to show you. I'll do that when I actually do that in real life. Words are hard. Mum's on her way down. Ooh. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Good. We are getting a little bit more organised.
Lots of peeps.
Currently 90 of us.
Oh. Did you bring my bag down?
Your bag?
No.
What bag?
I'm going to mend.
The red one's up there.
No, the one I'm using, I left it on the side and I thought you'd brought it down.
No.
No, don't worry. Hello. I'll be back in a minute.
Could you bring down the fabric that Buttons and I bought at the weekend?
Yeah, sure.
And there's also a Morrison's plastic bag underneath of it. Could you bring that as well?
Yep.
Thank you.
Shall I leave the door open for it?
If you must.
Are you cold?
Always.
It's warmer. It's warmer out here than
It is, yes. I walked in and it was chilly, so Mum's going to make
It's warmer out here.
I'm trying to store all of the things. I have a lot of things. We know this. This is a surprise to no one. Ah. Fabric's trying to make a bid for freedom. No. No. There we go. Oh, I did want to see. No, not that one. That one. I wanted to see if this went with the fabric selection we made for Buttons' mum's NCW if we get round to it. Are you going to live up here? And then this one can live up here as well. So this structure was built to store Christmas decks, but it ended up actually not working out so well, so it's now empty. But that's fine, because it can store other things, like my dragon and hedgehog, which are currently living up there. So that's good. Right, let's tip you down. And then I want to get out the fabric I'm going to use for the handful. Thank you. Just that's fine. On top of that pile there is, yeah, that's the wrong brown, isn't it? I'll be back in a second. Yep.
I'm not sure if we can use them or not. I bought them by mistake. They were £10 instead of the.
Where did you get them from? They don't look right.
No.
They don't look at all right.
I got them on the vanilla stall, but they said I could send them back.
No, that's
Just checking that yours wouldn't take them.
Mine takes the same ones yours
Yeah.
is. What vanilla store?
Quote show.
Oh. There were 5. Does it say they're 5 series?
They probably are, yes.
Where did you put them? There.
Or maybe one of your peeps.
Jumbo balloons. They don't look at all right.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not.
Well, as long as you can send them back, that's fine. The brown does not go. Let's see. Where did I get to detergent?
What brand?
Oh, I've just put it away now, so I'm not going to get it out and show you again. Oh, you're going to, right, you've got to completely take it apart.
So I've got undo this.
Undo the zip, yeah.
And then undo the bottom.
Yeah. and then undo the top stitching, and then redo the top stitching.
You show me how. I'm going to make that mistake again.
No. Alinda says to Nimaway, that's nice. You also crochet, so that would be something to create. So it'll be able to create something with that. And Nimaway said to Elena, yes, lots of small projects, great for using up scraps, and it's fabric market in a month. So I have that to look forward to. Not that I didn't fabric shop yesterday. Oops. Elena says to Nimaway, I'm so jealous. I'll be able to go fabric shopping only next month. And Nimaway says it's always nice to have fabric shopping to look forward to. It is indeed. Elena says, hi, Jane. Lisa says, hi, Mum. Nimaway says, hello, Jane.
Hi.
Laurel says, now that I've had breakfast, it's time to stitch the darts on the mock-up of the jacket, Berta style, 119 September 2021. Nice. Conchetta says, hi, Jane. Laurel says, my local sewing group is doing a Chanel style jacket sew along, but I find them a bit matronly, so I chose something a bit different. Dragon and Hedgehog sounds like an excellent name for a pub. It does, doesn't it? And they're currently hanging out right there.
What?
The Dragon and the Hedgehog.
Oh, the Dragon and the Hedgehog. Yeah.
Yes. Carol says to Laurel, I'm going to make one, but I'm pretty sure I'll only wear it with jeans and boots. Yeah, I do like the Chanel style jackets. I just don't think I would wear it personally. So, yeah. But I'm going to try an attempt to make up the Berta style jacket that Karen sent me. So I've got the ribbon and the doodads. She sent me everything that I needed. Got ribbon and doodads. Pattern with post-it note in. Ribbon matches perfectly.
I'll just pull this out, don't I, and undo
The bottom, yeah.
the bottom.
So there's 3 seams along the bottom, so you want to undo all of them. The short side seams and then the middle seam as well.
Oh, rather than just do a bit in the middle.
You've got to make your life as easy as possible. You're top stitching leather, so do you want to be doing that through a teeny tiny hole that's going to annoy you, or are you going to do it through the biggest hole that you can? Yeah, it's definitely worth it. You didn't need to have pinked that. These are the little doodads that I'm talking about for the lacing for the ribbon along the front. So they've even got the little blue bits in them. I've got 6 of those. Karen sent this to me years ago. This pattern's from 2015. Well, she didn't send it to me that long ago, but she sent me all of the bits and pieces all the way from Germany. And I'm going to pluck up the courage to do it. Now, I am not obviously going to make my very first one in this silk because I'm silly, but I'm not that silly. Ooh, look at the inside. So beautiful.
Oh, isn't it lovely?
So, yeah, brown, chocolatey brown on the outside. Absolutely beautiful on the inside. Has been pinked and it's still fraying a lot. So, yes, but she sent me more than enough to make the dirndl, and as I say, she's told me which one she wants me to try, and I agree, I really like this one. Now my question is this one here. That's the one. Does it come with the whole dress as well? Oh, okay, so it has a skirt, a blouse, and the top. Okay, it's the masterpiece one. Oh, it's scary. Some really nice patterns in here, actually.
Oh,
that one specifically. She sent me all the little doodads, the ribbon, the whole lot.
Right.
Terrifying. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Oh my goodness.
No, don't.
We need to go up there.
No, you need to take the short seams apart.
Just that one. Or the other end as well.
And the other end as well. So Mum's having to resew some of the top stitching on her bag, but it's on the inside. So because it just, at the moment, it kind of collapses in on itself. There's a reason that Erica says to top stitch it the other way. And we have proved that. And now we were going to do it the right way. Apparently I left my mum supervised while she was making this bag, so she blames me.
Yeah.
She apparently also cannot read the instructions.
Nope. They're very good instructions.
They're amazing instructions.
I thought I had read them. I must have gone a bit off piece.
You got very off piece. Yes. Nimue says to Laurel, had to look it up, but that jacket pattern, it looks fab. And Catherine says, I've always thought that the Chanel style jacket isn't the best match for an hourglass figure. I would imagine if you crop it at the right place, then it could work. But that's the thing, I would crop it. I wouldn't want it to go over my hips because it is a very boxy style jacket. So I would want it cropped above my smallest point. Laurel says to Nimue, isn't it cool? I need more shaping for my pear glass figure than the usual Chanel jacket offers. Eleanor says, sending reassuring vibes and hugs to Jane. It'll be worth it once you've unpicked it.
Oh, yes. No, it's really annoying me now. So,
because it's a beautiful bag.
I know. It's a fabulous bag.
And it cost a lot of money because Mum's made it all in leather. Oh, those
so
trousers are nice.
Now I'm going to...
Carefully unpick the top stitching you don't like.
What, from this side or inside?
What do you mean? You just got to unpick the top stitching.
I don't. I have to turn it inside out.
No. So you need to unpick this top stitching because you need to top stitch that upwards. So you top stitch it downwards. So you need to unpick all of this all the way around, but only that.
Only that.
Oh, these are quite nice trousers.
Yeah.
I like those. You wouldn't like them, they're far too wide leg for you. That's what she's constantly like, oh, trousers. It's like, no, not for you. Not for you. Oh, that's a nice dress. Very gunny sacks. Like that. Conchetta says, which bag did your mum make? It's the Hariath by Lavender and Twine. Because that's the one I taught at the last retreat. So Mum likes to make a bag as well, because she very kindly comes and helps.
So she needs to know what she's doing. And you learn by making your mistakes.
The only reason, because the bit that she's unpicking currently is leather, and we weren't going to do it because it's leather and it's obviously not going to recover. So what you could do, once you've unpicked that, is if you keep all these seam allowance out of the way, you could put decorative top stitching around and then top stitch it where you should top stitch it. In fact, maybe top stitch it where you should top stitch it first, then put decorative stitching around. You're probably going to have to raise your machine up and do it on the you know, the thingy.
Yeah.
So I'm just having a look through this Birder pattern magazine because I really have no clue how these work. So I don't know where instructions. Here we go. Instructions. Okay. All you need to know about the pattern sheet. Okay. Well, I won't read that now. Oh, that's a nice one. It's a plus size dress. But that's that would be really fun for colour blocking. And I think if you put like really dark colours on those waist ones and then bright colours in the middle, that would look really effective. So which one am I doing? I'm doing this one. Sizes 34 to 44. Hopefully that fits. And page 39. Instructions go to page 36. Page 39. Okay, yeah, that's the those are the instructions of how to sew it. You're literally watching me. Oh, here we go. There's some instructions of how to sew something. That's that one, though. I don't want that one. Where are the instructions for how to sew? Extra pattern in pink. Oh, is that it? 1, 2. No, it's 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 7. 1, 2, 7. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Found it. Oh. Okay. So I need 7/8 of a yard of. It's supposed to be cotton velvet, but she sent me silk, and I've definitely got more than that of this. I think I can sew this as a separate top. Batiste with broderie and glaze border along one edge. That's for the skirt. Need 11.5 yards of that. Wow. That's because you need to make lots of tiers from the border. Seam and hem allowances are 5/8 of an inch. I thought Berta didn't come with a seam allowance included. Conchetta says, I love that one. I love all of the lavender and twine patterns. Yes, me too. Me too. Yeah, the Harath is a good one. I've been using my yellow mustard Mora leather one pretty much non-stop since I've made it. Elena says, sorry for this. Trousers will be next year's April or straight away after the new year, because every year that at the time Sian tries to do the hardest project. Yes. Okay. Okay. Stitch piping to bodice front and back panel seams, shoulder seams as instructed for style 1, 2, 3. Oh, good grief. I've got to go between. Okay. I've never used a Berta pattern before, so this is why this is a chat project that scares me. I will work it out. It will be fine. It says 1, 2, 3. See color. See page 44 of Color magazine. Is this like one of those choose your own adventures? Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, okay. You want me to put piping in there? Do I want piping on this? I don't know. Okay. Stitch right side of seam. Stitch up. Okay. Well, I'm obviously going to make up a mock-up of this before I use my super expensive fabric. Well, not even super expensive fabric, super precious fabric. I'm sure it was expensive because it's a silk brocade. So, but it was a gift. So before I use that, I am going to use something else. And I do have some inexpensive brocades in my stash bought specifically for this purpose. Because I'm good like that. Of course, it's right at the bottom of the stash, because why wouldn't it be? Here we go. This one. Now, I've got a lot of this, so I can fluff up a couple of times. Hopefully I won't, but I can. But I don't have any of the lacy doodads or a lace that will work with it.
I've got some of those.
No, like laces, yeah. But I'm sure I can make something work from this. So yeah.
You've got piping stuff with that.
Oh no, I mean like a ribbon and like the little metal things that you sew on to lace through. I've only got one set of those, but I can always sew that on to try it for this one. And then adjust as needed. And then if this one ends up turning out well, I can always buy some that will match it. So yeah. Nimue says, not sure if Birder magazine has finished measurements, but I found Birder's size chart to be more on point than Big Four. Oh, interesting. Laura says, Birder doesn't include the seam allowance. That bit of instructions is misleading. I don't know why they have it, and I agree with Nimue. Thank you, Laurel, because if they don't have, why do they put that seam allowance in if they don't actually then include it on the pattern pieces? That's stupid. Oh, this video is going to be a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just going to be me cursing the entire time. Projects that scare me. This is why I'm only going to try and do one thing in September. It's not. I've got all that other stuff that's next year that I need to finish as well. But oh wow, okay. So I think this is actually meant to be a dress, like it's not like a separate top. It's meant to be like a complete dress, and I don't want to do that because I want to make my life difficult. I want to make. I've got some Swiss dot viscose here that I actually want to make the dress with, but I want it to be a separate piece. So I'm making two things in September. Yeah, so I've got this Swiss dot viscose that I want to make a fitted dress with that can be worn with both of these if this one ends up turning out okay. Dandles over the top. So I'm not sure if that's the appropriate term if I'm not making the entire dress. I really like the 3-layer skirt with the embroidery on it, but I don't have any of that fabric, and I don't necessarily. I like the idea of this being an interchangeable top, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah. Construct lining and face neckline. See style 1, 2, 3 page of the colour map steps 10 to 12. Okay. I mean, I'm really grateful that I know as much about sewing as I do, because this is going to be interesting. I mean, the actual piece itself, it's got 3 bodice backs, a peplum, and 3 pieces to the back, a peplum, what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces to the front plus the peplum. So it's not actually got that many pieces in it. And it's got a side zip, which we all know how I feel about those, but also totally doable. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting project. But thank you for the tip about the seam allowance, because that's stupid saying that and then not actually, or not just.
I suppose they're telling you what
they recommend,
yeah,
but then they should say,
yeah,
we recommend you use this seam allowance, and the instructions are written for this seam allowance being added to the pattern pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Eleanor says you would know how much to add. Yes. No, that's what we've gotten to. But good knowledge about that up in front, because if I hadn't, it's. Nimue says the pattern doesn't look very traditional for a dirndl anyway, so take all of the liberties that you want. It's more dirndl core than actual dirndl. Yes, I agree. Like, I mean, some of the ones they've got in here are very pretty. But maybe it's a little more appropriate. Because that's the one that they've got the instructions written out on the magazine for. And then that's another one. Very booby, that one. I mean, this will be very booby without a dress underneath of it. And then that's the last one. So yeah. I do think it's going to be an interesting experiment. I've got the Gertie Dirndl dress. Let me have a look at that, because I wonder if she's put a back zip in hers. I think she did. I might take liberties and put a back zip in mine as well. Or is it a front zip? Oh yeah. Blur. Yeah, this has got a front zip in it. Again, it's I would imagine not properly dirndl, but dirndl-esque. I'm kind of thinking that having this piece as a kind of top to be worn over something else might be more appropriate for my wardrobe. Elena says, but you would have found out when making the mock-up. Yes, I would. It'd be like, why is this so tiny? Nimue says, the blue one looks a lot more traditional, but playing with style elements is fun. Yes. Yes. I think I do want to make like this as its own standalone piece that can be worn over that white dress, or if I then make, like, if I got some brown fabric or blue fabric that would go with this, I think, and then possibly I could wear this with jeans as well. I think that could look quite nice, because I've got some really gorgeous knee-high brown boots that did me dirty the other day. You'll see I'm going to put the Patreon exclusive vlog up later. But we went to the hut the other night, and I wore the heels on my boots were this big. They were tiny. But the hut is literally a giant beach hut that's been made super fancy, and they have bifold sliding doors at one point between the restaurant and the bar, and you have to go through those to get to the toilets, and they've got them completely folded back, but the frame is obviously sitting higher than the floor, so they've put two floorboards on an angle up either side, so it isn't like a proper trip hazard, except it's totally a trip hazard. And in a completely giantly full busy restaurant, I managed to lose my heel underneath on, like, walking up this, it's a tiny little incline, but my heel went out from under me, and so I tripped, and then I just kept tripping. Like, it was this comedy thing of, like, I tried to catch a chair and managed not to. I think I might have jogged this poor guy on the chair, and then just kept falling, and then fell again, and then actually smooshed my face into the glass doors. Thankfully I didn't break the door or my face. I have got a very bruised nose. Thankfully it's not showing. But literally ended up on my ass with my face planted in this door in front of an entire restaurant. And the table next to me, it was a table of 4, and the guy was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And all the wait staff came over, are you okay? I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then the girl at the table behind me was like, don't worry. I was like, because I looked around and I was like, oh, how humiliating. And she was like, no, I'm shielding you. Nobody can see like this. And she was so lovely. And she, like, the wait staff picked me up, because I was just like, they were like, are you okay? And I was shaking on the floor, and it was embarrassing. It hurt, but it was also embarrassing. I've got bruises all up my side. I've got bruises on my elbow and stuff where I hit the floor as well. Thankfully, like I say, I don't have a black eye, because I hit my glasses into the bridge of my nose, so I'm surprised I don't have a black eye. But yeah, so the wait staff helped me up. Then the girl came to the bathroom with me, and she's like, are you okay? Because I burst into tears in there, and it was humiliation and shock and pain rather than, like, I was actually injured. She's like, oh, no, but are you okay? Because I know a lot of people will kind of, like, have that happen to them, get up immediately and run away because they don't want to be seen by people, and then they realize that they've actually hurt themselves when they kind of, like, gone somewhere else. And I was just like, oh no, I'm fine. She's like, you're not bleeding anywhere, like, you haven't got any obvious, like, bruises or anything. But she's like, I went to the toilet, came out, she was still there, and she's like, are you okay? She's like, who are you here with? I was like, my boyfriend. And she's like, why isn't he here? But the way the restaurant's done is you go down a few stairs, and then we were on a corner table, and he was facing the other way. And so he was, not only was he, like, lowered a couple of levels so that he couldn't see over to where it was happening, like, it was a busy restaurant as well, so he probably didn't hear it. But one of the waiters came over and said, your girlfriend's fallen over, and there's a girl who's taken her to the bathroom. And he's like, well, I can't go to the bathroom with her. So like, you know, what do I do? So he just sort of sat there, and I came back and told him, and I burst into tears at the table again, because again, it's humiliating. It's like I was hurt, but I wasn't like injured. And it was just one of those ones where it's just like, oh God, in front of an entire restaurant, like, oh my God. And the waiter came over and he was like, don't worry, I've seen people do way, way worse. Like, they've been drinking so much. And this was the thing, I'd had like one drink. So it wasn't even like, yeah. But what was even funnier is earlier that evening, the waiter sat us down and he's like, oh, you guys were here before, weren't you? You were wearing the red dress. You sat over there and you ordered surf and turf as well. And it's like, yeah, now I'm always going to be that girl. Oh, you threw yourself across the restaurant, didn't you? You're that one. So, no.
Just be thankful you didn't get a face full of tomato ketchup.
That was mustard.
Was it mustard?
It was mustard. It was worse than that one, yeah. But yeah, it was just one of those things. It's just like, oh. Now that you said that, can I tell the story?
Yeah.
So Mum and I were in Mexico. We went to the Hard Rock Cafe. We're in an all-inclusive restaurant, hotel, and a 5-star one. So it was amazing. But we'd gone into Cancun for the evening, and we went to the Hard Rock Cafe, and we'd ordered burgers, and they had like the ketchup and the mustard on the table. And thank goodness Mum wears glasses. You can see where this is going. So she put her ketchup on her plate. She tried to put a little bit of mustard on her plate, and it wasn't coming out. It was a squeezy ball. What did you do? She looked, pointed it at her face, and squeezed.
It did cause a lot of mirth for many people.
Oh, it was just one of those ones though, like I'm sitting there like in slow motion, and she's like, thank goodness you had glasses on, though, because mustard in your eyes, ow. But
I've forgotten that, but when you were talking about your fall.
Oh, it was one of those comedy ones. I can imagine watching it, because like my feet went out from under me, so I was falling forwards and I was trying to catch myself and missing myself, and I felt like I fell 3 times, because I managed to catch myself and then like got my hand on the floor, but then the momentum just kept me going, so I smooshed my head or my face into the glass door, and it was just like I could hear people going, oh my God. I was just like, yeah, we're gonna do it.
To herself.
Like, do it with style. It's like, oh, could I possibly? And it was just so humiliating. Yeah. And like I literally came back to the table and told Buttons what had happened, and like I was kind of crying at the same time, because it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, and it was one of those ones. And he just laughed. Bless him. And he's like, I wouldn't have laughed if I'd seen it happen. I would have gotten up and helped you. But your rendition of it was funny. Yes. Like, no. You got to laugh at yourself. You got to laugh at these things, because if you don't, yeah, I've got bruises like all up here. I've got bruises all up my side and on my knee and stuff. Thank goodness I haven't bruised my face. Can you imagine if I've been coming here today with 2 black eyes? Like, I fell over. Oh dear. Yeah. So yeah. I can't remember why I started telling that story. There was a reason. Oh, the brown boots that go with this. The brown boots that did me dirty the other night with their teeny tiny heel. But they would go really well with this. So yeah, I think I kind of want to make that into a separate piece. There was a reason for that story. You know what might be quite nice is the 8177. If I did that, if I put a waist seam in and put in a back zip to that dress, that would be quite, because it's like a sweetheart dress at the front, isn't it? And it's got the sleeves I want for under the dirndl. So that might be quite a good one. And you guys have been asking for well, I said I'd do a sew along, and you said yes for the sleeve pieces. So I don't know what I'm doing. Hang on a second. Yeah, just all the way around. Yes. Can't leave her unsupervised for a moment.
No.
For a moment. Right, go put this Gertie cap in back. I don't want to confuse myself. Yeah. I have to see if Mum is willing to knit the dark brown wool I bought. for her next project after you've done your Anne Boleyn. But I don't think Anne Boleyn's going to be done anytime this year, is she?
Oh yeah, she's I've nearly
Oh, you got the hang of it?
nearly done the back. Yeah, got the hang of it. I've got to do ears as well.
Yes. You need to buy the wool for that. She wants lipstick. Laurel says, oh no, how awful. I know. Elena says, oh no, Sian, please don't hurt yourself. We need you in one piece. Lisa says, how drunk were you at this point, Sian? One, seriously, like literally, Buttons was driving. I had 3 cocktails in total that night, but I'd had 1 at that point, honestly. And it wasn't a strong cocktail. Lisa says, seriously, I'm glad you're okay, my lovely, thank you. Debbie says, oh, ouch. Anyway, says, that sounds like a really bad stumble. For glad you didn't hurt yourself more badly. I know, I was so worried that I'd like broken their glass doors. It would just been like, oh God. You break it, you buy it. But, sorry. Rachel Lynn says, a million hugs, thank you. Elena says, never point anything at your face. Just don't, no matter what. Just don't do it. I think Mum hasn't done it since. This was when I was 19 years old. So that was that long ago. You've not done it since, have you?
No.
One mustarding was enough. Rutland says, I'm so very late. Good morning, peeps. Hello. Nimori says, that sounds like me saying, the stairs aren't that steep. 1 step before I slipped and rattled down the entire stairs. Ended at the bottom, laugh crying as well. Got some ouchy scrapes off. Yeah. Rutland says, Nimori, is your reaction to awkwardly hurting yourself laughing like mine? Yes. Conchetta says, so glad you're okay. Yeah, I mean, I sat there on my butt, like clutching my bag. And I was just like, and I had a giant dress on as well, like the McCall's 7537 with the tiered and gathered skirt, the one I did the tutorial for. So I spectacularly fell and then ended up in a puddle of fabric. And then it was just sitting there kind of laugh crying, kind of like, oh no, it's so fun, it's funny, it's funny, it's fine, it's fine. It's like, don't look at me. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, the lovely lady next to me, she's like, no, don't worry. She literally got out of her table. And her boyfriend was sort of sat there just looking at me. I was just like, and she was like, no, we can see you. I am shielding you from the restaurant. It's fine. Like this. I'm like, that's so sweet. I never even asked her name. Conchetta says, so glad you're okay. Thank you. Gig Racer says, glad you weren't badly injured. I know that could have been a lot worse.
You'll have to send a thank you on the Saturday Radio 4 morning show where they do thank you. So you haven't said all the thank you because that would make a really good story.
I'm not sure. I think 79 people hearing my I fell out of a story is more than enough.
Well, no, that way you can thank the lady.
Yes. Gig Racer says, what a lovely human to take care of you like that. I know, it was very kind of her. Nimue says, I mean, if you basically jinxed yourself 2 seconds earlier, you kind of have to laugh, don't you? And things hurt less when you laugh about them. Yes. I mean, this is why I'm making a funny out of it now, because it was utterly humiliating, but also, when you think about it, very funny. So yeah, I mean, it must have been one of those comedy ones to watch. You know, when like cartoon characters are doing this with their legs and they're just gonna fall over anyway. That's what it felt like. Never mind. Elena says, but when anyone are making reassurings that it's fine, Faith says, hold my drink. Yeah. Yeah. I've waffled at you for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Have we had enough waffle? Don't know what else to waffle at you about. So this month I need to. Oh, you know what? I'm glad I didn't get the double circle skirt finished in time for that, because that was very cleavage-tastic. I can imagine like having ripped my dress or something in that one. At least the other one was like more coverage, so I didn't totally embarrass myself. So yeah, I need to hem that. I need to do my denim skirt. I've got my Lucille trousers, dandy waistcoat, and bow bodice mock-ups to sew. I've got the 5951 in the double gauze to sew. I've got the 9076. I've got a 9345 shirt and a Gertie tie front shirt to sew as well. I have many things to do. Let's see. Oh, Julian's here, stopping in to say hi. Hello. Rock Ralph says, my friends have learned that when they hear raucous laughter from my direction, they need to come get me because I'm likely injured and possibly bleeding. Yes. Yes. Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to go now because Mum's got to the point where she needs to sew things again and I don't want her to sew exactly what she's just unpicked. So I'm going to call it a day. I hope you've enjoyed the waffle. Thank you very much for listening to me talk about these slightly more serious matters earlier today because, you know, as I've said, it is my channel and I'm allowed to do what I like with it. So fast. Dear Grace says, same with my friends to Rotten Ralph. And Laurel says, bye all. KK says, thank you so much for keeping me company. So enjoyed your waffle. You are a great storyteller. Thanks. It was lovely to see you, KK. And are you going to bed now? Because it must be like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning there. Linnea says, bye bye, have a nice week. Nimue says, have a lovely week, everyone. I have no idea what videos are going to come out. I'm hoping for a lookbook and a plans video. There will be the Patreon Zoom call on Wednesday night. It's already set up and scheduled. That's for the $10 and $15 tiers. And then there will be another hangout next Sunday and possibly some shorts of getting ready in the morning with me because I am going to start my 2-week separates only challenge. So fingers crossed there should be lots of lovely content for you over the next week. And I shall see you live next weekend. So I shall say goodbye. Goodbye.